I guess it would help if I added myself to the stream. Hi, everybody. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the chat show. It is going to be a solo show for me tonight. My buddy Travis, a little under the weather, he gave me the notification. He called in sick today. I allowed it. You know, he said he gets 5 sick days a year, so he's just used his second, I think. So we have 3 left for the year. But in all seriousness, he's not feeling great, so I told him don't even worry about it. Maybe he'll chime in and just say hi to the group. But he won't be on the show live tonight. So we're going to do kind of a hybrid show, you know, a lot of chatting and just talking with you guys. And we'll do a little bit of listing, and we will take it from there. It's going to be kind of a, when is Krylov coming on the show? See, that's the question. Well, hi, Eric. How are you? We've been chatting before the show started. But, yeah, Krylov is he's a man of mystery. He doesn't like to reveal himself, you know, in a worldwide forum like this. He does his work behind the scenes, and he prefers it that way. So I suggest, for the benefit of all watching, we let him do what he wants. But yeah, so it's like I said, a hybrid show. We'll do some listing, but I figured we'll start off with just a little conversation. I just did a what sold video. Let's see, released it a half hour ago. It's kind of a read it and weep thing. I mean, I managed to scrap together 10 things that sold, but it's been rough. Now, with all that said, I was complaining about this on Friday night, I believe, right? So not one to typically complain or blame other factors for eBay's, you know, flaws or my own lousy sales. I figured, let me pull a Krylov and think with it now. I figured, you know, let me do a little analysis of what I'm doing. Let's check all the listings. We've all discussed this many times, including on Friday, that method of going in and ending listings and then selling similar seems to rejuvenate your listings as a whole. You get that new listing number. It seems to give a quick burst to the algorithm within eBay for 48 hours or so. I've heard a lot of people saying that they were doing that every 2 days or 3 days, just constantly churning their entire inventory. So I took a page out of all of those suggestions books, and I went in on the 4th, which was what, Saturday, I guess. And I went in. I have a little over 3,000, like 30, just short of 3,100 live listings right now. I ended every single one of them. You could do 200 at a time, so it took a little bit of time. Every single one of them, with the exception of anything that was processed or listed after June 1st. So it wound up out of like 3,090 or so, just about 3,000. I ended, sold similar. Now, hey, Rutan, what's going on? Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Hi, Sarah. You had a rough month last month, huh? Yeah, ebbs and flows, right? That's kind of the term I've been using. Ups and downs, ebbs and flows. Anything to make yourself feel better, right? About this, when things like this happen. But I did go in, you know, based upon some conversation on Friday night. I saw a lot of people were having success with that. I've done it too, but I haven't done it with the whole store, which I really did for the first time ever on Saturday. Well, 3,000 out of 3,100. I did. I ended all of them 200 at a time, very carefully. Went in, and again, it is a nice opportunity to just go in when you go to sell similar. You're presented with a nice large spreadsheet style with columns of all the elements of your listing, and it's a nice opportunity to just go in and kind of eyeball things. If you want to make any adjustments to pricing on a grand scale, go ahead. If you want to adjust, if you even participate in promoted, it's an opportunity to do that, to change that amount, which I did. I just went 1% across the board on everything, for better or worse, except with a few exceptions. There's about 10 or 12 I don't have any promoted on at all, because I think that they're Beetle records and I don't need to promote those. But for everything else, I'm at 1%. We'll see what happens with that. I always go up and down with that. I know that has nothing to do with what killed me was May 26th. We've pinned it down to a date. On May 26th, like, my views just dropped off the table. I've seen tons of videos from a lot of other resellers and people in general talking about this. Some people think it's a glitch within eBay. Some people think it's the sad truth that that's really all the views you're getting. And that number was always hyper inflated because of bots and all that nonsense. They've weeded all that out. Well, like we kind of touched on Friday, I mean, I can understand the number dipping a little bit, but when I saw, I told you on Saturday, I deleted everything and relisted. The oldest ones that I had were from early February. So March, April, May, June, about 4 months now, right? That was the oldest listings. When I went back to the 4-month-old items on things that I sell routinely and that have tons of watches routinely, like the ads, like records, I mean, I was going back to items that I've had listed since February 23rd that had 1 view, 0 views. There was no way, it doesn't seem likely at all that every single view, in other words, is what they're telling us, was a bot. I don't know. I found that hard to believe. So with all this said, and scrambling on Saturday because I was kind of upset not upset, but I was determined to try to figure it out. So Saturday I went in, 3,000 deleted, 3,000 sell similar. And I wanted to touch on, let me just say hi again to some folks. If there's some new people in here, I think we got Carl's in here. Hey, Carl. Does the exact same thing. Bot got new item numbers. Both, I guess you meant. Okay. Research email notification. Yeah. I've just never done that on such a grand scale call. I've done 400 at a time, maybe every couple of days, every week at the most. I've never gone in and done 3,000 in one day. So I did want to share, and Eric had terrible sales. Sorry about that, man. Yeah, I just don't know. You do 100 sell similar every day. Maybe that's the move now. Maybe that's the move, that every day or 2 days, if we could really get a grip on the exact timetable for this thrust of activity. I know a few people have said 24 to 48 hours, you get this little burst from a new listing. So with that said, if you keep this cycle going every 48 hours, conceptually, you're going to constantly be in this burst mode. And then I know a couple of people kick it up a notch from that. And on top of the burst mode, they'll go in, they'll do a sale for the same period for 2 days or something. So you're giving eBay every opportunity to present your items in front of people. That's for sure, right? You're maximizing. Beyond that, how much more can you do? Provided that your listings are, generally good listings. Of course, the items are good. But the thing to me, you don't just lose everything. And I remember Auction Professor had this happen last fall. I don't remember the exact date, October something. He had a fiasco too, and he's the guy who sells, probably a couple thousand a day dollars easily. And he came to a crawl where he was almost selling nothing, and he was in panic mode too. And he's the one that had heralded this whole idea of ending and sell similar. I know he does it every single. I don't know if it's every day, but he does a batch of them every day. So here we go. I'm in that mode now. I did it on Saturday. Today is Monday. I did have a couple of sales on Saturday. I did have a few sales yesterday. I've had 3 today, which is just. I don't mean to put so much on the amount of sales necessarily. To me, it really comes down to how much you're making, right? If you have 3 sales and they reach $500, I'd be happy. Things are selling in. I just want to mention one other thing that I still am doing is that coupon feature that we talked about, I think the week prior show. I am including that for like a 48-hour period as well. So instead of doing a sale, I'm doing that public coupon option for several items. I'll just pick. I always have the print ads in there because that's like 2,000 of my listings are just the print ads, or maybe even more than that. So I always include them, and then I'll sporadically throw in another bucket of items like my Disney stuff, or I'll throw some records on sale, or include them in the coupon. Excuse me, not on sale. So okay, call tested again, enemy list. Yeah, it's the same thing you wrote. I'm sorry. I guess I read that already. Hey, Michael, how are you? Well, anyway, guys, with all this said, and we got one more comment. Yes, I absolutely monitor my traffic report. I mean, not like a fanatic. I'm not in there every hour, every day doing it necessarily, but I give a gander, that's for sure, especially when something goes haywire like this. You want to see if your impressions dropped off the table. Now, obviously, if you take a large amount of listings or a decent amount of listings, a couple thousand listings, right? And you change, let's say I had 5% across the board, I'm promoted, I go down to 1. I'm expecting to see a slight drop in impressions because, they break down your impressions if you look at that report to what is it called, generic or not generic. What's the word? They have promoted and the other section is, maybe it is generic. In other words, meaning non-promoted views and promoted views. So obviously if you go down 5% or 4% or whatever, or 10 to 1, you're going to go down in the amount of impressions, I guess, conceptually, for that number. It should go down. If you have 1,000 views a day and 700 are promoted and 300 are generic or whatever the word is, which I can't think of. Organic, that's the word. Organic. And suddenly you drop that percentage down, I expected that amount would reduce. Hey, CJ, welcome. Organic. Yeah, thank you. Sorry. What did I say? Generic. Organic. Well, anyway, guys, I just wanted to share. That's what I did on Saturday, right? Took the 3,000, played around a little bit, got rid of them all, which I'll tell you was a little nerve-wracking because you do need to keep organized and make sure you remember to delete the ones that are in the ended, field after they're successfully relisted. And I always check, of course, go back to active, make sure that they're listed again. But no harm, no foul. I did get all 3,000 relisted or sold similar. And I am going to share my screen to show you guys at least how I've been faring so far. Again, this is just from Saturday. So about 48 hours, right? And I did have, this was the good news. I had 30 or so, I think today, or something like that, 25 or 30 offers to watches suddenly pop up, which weren't there. So that's always a good thing. And that's one of the hopes that when you do something like that, you're going to get a whole bunch of new watches, right? And send offers out. But the good news, even though it doesn't look great from what I'm used to, at least I'm getting some views. You have 11, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 7. You can see the numbers right here in this column. They're a lot better than 0 and 1, which is basically what I was seeing across the board. On things that I just know, like here we have 14 on a set of Star Trek novels. Much more realistic. And this I can understand if they did weed out, bots or whatever from your count and trying to make it more realistic. That's fine. I mean, I can live with these. Then I'm not so hung up on the view count. I never was hung up on the view count. I was never one to really pay that much attention to it. You wanted to make sure you had some eyes on them, but I was much more concerned about watches and the ability to send those offers out. I did send, I said 30 or so this morning. So we'll see. I had a few sales today, so that's a good thing. But at least everything has views, as you see, right? A handful. Like this is crazy. This is a great item, by the way, everybody. I'll just show you this. This is, again, just something I have. It's a really cool CD single from Tom Petty that I had. I've been going through, right in back of my green screen, I have about 6 boxes filled with CDs that are just from my collection that I'm kind of dumping off. And if there's a one-off like this that's valuable, I'll do it one-off. But what I've been doing in most cases is just kind of lotting them up by 10 rock albums, 10 country. I don't have country. 10 blues, 10 whatever. I sold one on the show today, or I showed everybody on the What Sold video. I had a lot that I called punk and new wave essentials or something like that. I'm getting rid of these pretty well. CDs are selling really well. Again, it's a frac. We need to remember what these things cost when they were new. I was spending $18-20 a disc, and now I'm selling 4 of them for maybe $15-20. It kind of hurts a little, but that's okay. It's better than just having them sit there unused and unlistened to. And I didn't get rid of all of them, by the way, but that's a good thing. Just a tip for everybody. If you have a bunch of CDs you're not listening to, they do sell. I guess now it's considered a novelty for kids, younger people, 25 and under or something. Like my kids are 20s and early 30s, and to them CD is, an antiquated form of media, which is kind of funny because they still seem kind of new, don't they? Well, anyway, that's a good one. This having no views is a little strange to me, but maybe we'll get a surprise it'll sell. So that is the good news, is that it seemed to, by doing it, and that's kind of a dramatic step for me, to delete every single listing short of about 80 or 90, like I said, that were from June 1st and to current. As of that date, it was 3 days worth of listings, the 4th. I am getting some views. So that's a positive an encouraging sign for me that maybe the smoke has cleared a little bit. Like this one, look, I got 30 views on this one. Wow. Totally fine if they did some sort of analysis and determined that half the views that we're all thinking we're getting really aren't views. That's okay. I did read, did you guys read about the fact if you view your own listing, apparently that used to be counted as a view, which is kind of silly. So they've taken that functionality away, which is good. I don't want to see myself, count my own going in to look at my own listings. I don't want to see that as a view. So good news on that front. At least I hope so. I'm still not normal, quote unquote, sales wise, but we're getting sales, we're getting activity, we're getting interest again. And you can see I did the 1% across the board on just about everything we sell. I am thinking about tonight, we might list a few 78 records. I took some pictures a while ago. I don't know if any of you guys enjoy 78, so we might pop in and list a few of those just for fun to break it up a little. I still have some ads from Friday's show that we didn't get to. But again, and here's a 0 for some stamps. That's kind of discouraging. But at least it's the exception now instead of, it's just everything. Everything I went back to was 0, 1, 2 views. It was really disheartening. Did any of you guys experience that like I did, where Views just seem to drop off the table. Let me know. I'd appreciate it if you let me know. So there is that. Get right out of that screen. We'll go back into a listing screen in a few minutes. But yeah, Root, you would ask, absolutely. Do you guys monitor your traffic? Actually, hang on. Maybe I'll look at that too to see if that's changed. Surprisingly, I didn't look at that since I did all this activity on Saturday. Sometimes I think it takes a little time to shake out. I'm not sure if it's going to reflect right away what you've done. It probably takes a couple of nights, I would think. But yeah, like my organic impressions are up 31% suddenly, and promoted are down 24, which is fine because again, I went from 10 and 5% down to 1. So let me just see from June 1st. I'll show everybody this too. Holy cow, guys. Yeah, let me show you this really quick. Like just all I did was I tweaked it to show June 1st to June 6th. All right. Let me pull this up. Hopefully you guys aren't bored by this kind of stuff. I like it. I think it's important. Hey, Jeff. Good evening. Hey, Steven. Drastic improvement, I'm happy to say. Thank goodness. Well, you're lazy, Carl. Why would you look at something like that? I'm just kidding. It's good to take a look at once in a while. But look at this, everybody. This is, again, just from June 1st. So organic is up 45% and 124%. Promoted is still up. So everything is up. You like to see the green numbers, right? My impressions are up 39%. Look at the difference. June 4th is when I affected that change. So I've doubled my impressions, right? Pretty much 200,000 from 100,000. Page views are way up. 1142, up 62%. So clearly, there has been a drastic improvement, as Steven said. Now, again, that's all good and dandy, but I want it to translate into cash, into sales. So let's see if that happens. You would think with these numbers, the sales will come in as well. We have had some sales. I went through a period, Memorial Day weekend. There was a day where I had 0 sales. I haven't had 0 sales in like over a year. And I think that was only because we were on vacation. I've never had a day in a year with nothing. So that was when I really said, something's got to change here, folks. I think I hear the sweet sounds of Mrs. Flippit.
Yes, it is.
Hi, Mrs. Flippit.
And you are going to
show off
your new Irish potato chips from Ireland.
This is an unpaid endorsement for a product called Keogh's Irish Potato Chips.
Are you sure it's Keogh's?
Famous, yeah, Keogh's, of course. That's how they say it. I'm half Irish.
Now taste it.
I'm not going to taste it. I am doing the Mediterranean diet, folks. I'm on day 3.
Wait a minute.
Nope.
You mean
but anyway,
I paid $6 for that bag of chips and you're not even going to taste them?
I destroyed 3 bags of these about a week ago, but they were the British, what was it? No, I'm not going to try one, really, but thank you. If anybody wants to buy them, they're really good.
How do you know? You never tasted them.
You do the monitor my monthly turnover rate, though. I'm down 20%. Yeah, I believe that, Carl. You ever thought about a drastic sale on a small portion of your stock to see if the price... I mean, that's not a bad idea, Michael, but because I was doing fine until a specific date and everything just dropped off the table, right? If it was a slow, steady decline and markets do change, obviously, and prices fluctuate, then of course that's something you would want to revisit. And, you know, that's what I kind of started off the conversation with was instead of blaming eBay or blaming this and blaming that, I said, let me do a little self-analysis, see what's going on. What am I doing? What can I change? Does something need to be changed that I've been ignoring? So it's good advice in general. Absolutely. And yes, inflation, all the nonsense going on. Of course, that could be playing a role. However, to just go from 60 miles an hour to parked in the period of 24 hours was alarming for me. Hi, Barbara. So anyway, I didn't say I'm done with the tweaking. That was my dramatic attempt to revive, I rubbed the 2 things, pull. The patient was on the floor, trust me. So I did, obviously, as we just saw with the traffic, got a little more traffic in. That's a good thing. With traffic should follow sales. That's not to say, again, Michael, that going forward, if this works as a little spurt for a day or 2, and then it kind of tails off again, maybe we do need to revisit things and reprice things. I'm all for that. It's a fluid thing. I think it should be that way for everybody. Do your business how you do your business, but you have to kind of be out there and always looking at what market trends are and pricing is. Be fluid about it. Be willing to change things up. At the turn of a dime. What's the expression? Whatever. I'm losing. I'm out of breath tonight. I was out going for a walk because I was on my Mediterranean diet, so I did like a mile walk tonight. Getting old. But anyway, I'm back. I'm back physically, hopefully shortly, and hopefully, much more importantly, for eBay. Inflation thing. People are staying home because of gas prices. Yeah, that's exactly what a great counterpoint there, Rutan. Much like the lockdowns last year, right? Everybody was home. And gas was, you could give away gas because nobody was driving. The margins, yeah, well. But again, maybe that kickstarts something within your store, right? Just in general. A lot of periods of time lately where eBay seems to be almost shut down. Yeah, without question, Stephen. And again, thanks for joining. I don't know if you chimed in the beginning, but we opened up with that. At least for me, I can put it to a specific date of May 26th. But that rollout, I know, was prior to May 26th. The rollout being eBay announcing that they were going to change the way that they count views on items. And there was a major correlation between that and my sales. Not just my sales, the views deteriorating to the fact where they were like literally 0 or 1 on 3-month-old items that have been out, listed for 3 months. It was just impossible. And I was, again, after Friday's conversation, all you guys kind of inspired me to go in. I was going to do my usual 200 or 400 at the most, end relist. But then as I was doing them, I'm like, you know what? Just do them all. So now my oldest listing is from May 31st or so. So I have brand new 3,000 relatively new, 3,000 listings, the oldest of which is only about a week old. You switch your strategy when 2 volumes selling. Okay, cool. Hi, Sandy. Welcome back. We're not complaining, I promise, Sandy. It's like a repeat of Friday night, but this is the more encouraging piece. So that's what happened. I went in, I did the 3,000. Sales have, this weekend was certainly a lot better than last weekend for me. And now today was much better than last Monday for me. And the traffic report just kind of bore all that out that, I've almost doubled my impressions. Organic went up, which is good to me. That means you don't need eBay's help. And my promoted went down 25%, which is kind of in proportion when I went from 10% to 1%. That's actually not too bad, right? I went down 90% in my promoted budget. So let me know, anybody else out there want to tell me what's going on with their sales? I'd appreciate any feedback, any ideas. Michael, I appreciate your suggestions. But at least I'm above water again, and there was a point where I was drowning last week, or at least it felt like it. Have you guys all noticed what I was talking about on Friday is definitely in play now? They did a little cosmetic change to the seller hub. I don't know if anybody noticed that, but it's definitely a thing on the homepage. And even that concerns me a little bit because it seems like whenever there's something tweaked, something else is affected adversely, and it takes a while to kind of get through all that. One thing I did want to bring up also was, let me go back to my active listings and I'll show you guys. Remember how we were all talking about the recommended specifics? I'll pull this up again. Okay. Well, I had 0, and the one downside of doing all those delete, sell similar, look at this. Now I have 158 recommended specifics. That's something I cannot figure out because if I went in and made that 0, right, on all those listings, when I did the relist, I guess the NAs or whatever fields I populated didn't carry over. That's very frustrating. So every time you go in and do this, you're going to be presented with 158 isn't terrible out of 3,000, but it's still a pain in the neck. And now that leads me to believe, there's 158 listings that are basically going to be hidden out there, and they're brand new. So I kind of want to the reward of all that work I did and get some of that benefit as far as that little burst that we keep talking about. So now I think I might go in and do the 158, but then I think to myself, is that really time well spent? Because what if in 3 days I go in and do the exact process and relist 3,000 more listings. I'm going to have another 158 or another 200. That's kind of a waste of time. Carl says I should not put NA. There are fields where there just is nothing else to put, at least for me. So if you have any suggestions, I'd appreciate it. You'll pick something from the drop down, even if it has no bearing on the listing, because that's really the only other option, excuse me. But yeah, that's one downside. All of a sudden I have 158 recommended again. Not really sure why, but appreciate any suggestion, Carl. Let me know. Like you'll see, if we go in and do some 78s tonight, you'll see some of the ridiculous options that come up. You just don't fill them in. You just leave them blank. There's also, there's that tick box sometimes that says, do not remind me of these again. I never really knew if that means that they're gone. They drop off of your field. They drop out of that category that reminds you, but does that really mean it's actually fixed in the eyes of eBay? I'm not sure. Do I track my turnover rate? Turnover rate. Give me a better definition or a definition of that lazy one. I would appreciate it. That's funny. My wife just wrote me something silly again. You have a lot of recommended items, but you still have plenty of views on those items. Just a lack of, yeah, right? That's much to our chagrin. Hi, Allie. It does not come back when you hit that button eventually. You mean the recommended? Oh, I got you. Yeah. I don't track it. No, not officially, not on a spreadsheet or anything, but I know it's a good thing to do. And really that is at the end of the day, the story, right? How much you're making. Yep. So if you keep doing this, Allie, if I keep doing this every couple of days, and in my case, I'm using the number 3,000 for whatever, somebody might have 50,000 and some of you guys might have 500. So whatever you do, you're saying the more you keep churning it, the less specifics will be recommended. Because this is my first time in doing that many. I've only done 200 or 400, I think, at the most. And at the time when I was doing those, they were items that were out for like 3-4 months, that I thought would be considered stale. If you don't track it, then you really don't know how well you're doing. Yeah, I know. I understand that. That's just if you're concerned about what your, like you said, what percentage of your store you're selling. To me, it's about how much money you're making. It keeps coming back if you let the product relist a multiple time. Well, I'm not doing relist. I'm doing sell similar. I don't know if that's, I don't know if you're talking about relisting or selling similar or both, but it's happened almost every time I do that. And again, I've never done it on the scale of 3,000. I've done it on 200, 300, 400. And every time I did that, I would get a certain percentage, like maybe 10% of that will come back with recommended, even though I've already fixed it. Forecasting call. Yeah, that's sure. That makes sense. And you could kind of supposedly predict, anticipate slow times and all that stuff. Absolutely. And you're right. I mean, to an extent it is your gut, but also if you do it long enough, you do just get a sense of, certain holidays are going to be dead. Certain holidays are going to be great. Certain times of the year are usually better than others. But the only reason I even brought this up Friday was it was such a dramatic change on effective that prior Thursday, the 26th of May, that I was really worried when everything went to 0 and 1 views. And then sure enough, there were no sales. Oh, I was talking with CJ, right? CJ sent me an email, which was kind of cool. He did his own little analysis as well. We touched on this Friday, and I've seen some other resellers mention this, but there were some occasions where you would have watches and supposedly 0 views. And CJ was kind enough to send me a screenshot of 1 or 2 of his with the same issue. And obviously that makes no sense. Somebody had to look at your item if they decided to watch it. So that led me to believe that, okay, the numbers are just skewed and they're working out the kinks. But I wouldn't even mind that so much if the sales were continuous or the sales were consistent. So when the numbers went to 0 and 1 and 2 views across 3,000 listings out of nowhere, and my sales tanked. You know, the eyebrow was raised, and we had the conversation on Friday, and actions were taken Saturday. That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. Oh yeah, I've done that too, Michael. That's again great advice. Yeah, just do a mass update. Yep, a percentage or a penny. Yep, absolutely. Go up and down. All those things supposedly give everything a boost. Anytime you affect, what was it? If you affect something in the title, if you add or delete a photo, and if you change the price, I think those are the three components that supposedly gives a little jar to your listing. Oh, do you really, Stephen? Okay, cool. And do you see any success with that? Do you think if you didn't do that, you would have less sales? Or are you like me, you just become a creature of habit? Like this might be a new habit. I might have to go in every couple of days and just whoop, delete them all and relist them all. Sell similar. Yes. It is kind of a shame that we have to be so hands-on with this, isn't it? I mean, it's a labor of love. I think all of us enjoy eBay. I certainly do. But it is a shame you have to do so many, like you have to do your own little intervention on your store constantly. I want to do some. It's powerful in a way that you have the ability. It's not set it and forget it like some of these dummy sites are. But at the same time, it's like you really have to handhold and babysit some of this stuff and always be on the lookout for a curveball, you know? And then thank goodness we have groups like this of people that are like-minded and help each other and say, hey, I tried this. Why don't you try that? It's wonderful to have a community like this where we could all help each other, because imagine if we were all by ourselves, we'd be lost. If you don't use math, I think we get into oh, of course. Numbers don't lie. Isn't that the expression called? Again, I'm going to say you're far from lazy. Yeah, that's so true. The numbers don't lie. But when the numbers do, the numbers don't lie, but they also don't lie in everything I've been describing for the last few days. When your views go from, you used to have 120 views on something and it goes to 0 and 1 and 3, and you don't sell anything for 2 days, those numbers don't lie either. It means there's some shenanigans going on. And you got to get in there and do something to fix it. Have any of you guys tried to call, quote unquote, I know it's almost impossible nowadays, call or use that Facebook group that they used to have for eBay? I haven't had to make a call or anything in a long time. I was tempted to in the midst of all this nonsense last week, but I figured, you know what, it's probably just going to cause more frustration. You ever call up, a couple of years ago, you used to be able to call up and you would ask them to refresh your store, quote unquote. And they put you on hold for a few minutes, say, yeah, okay, we refreshed your store. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. But we all went to bed that night, thought, okay, my store's refreshed. There was another trick. A lot of people used to just go in, edit whatever amount of listings you could do at 200, I think it is, right, at one time. Just go in to like use the edit field, do something like Michael suggested, go up a penny or down a penny, or do nothing. Some people would just do nothing and hit submit, and the theory was that would refresh it. That turns out to be nonsense too. Oh, every time. I never cared about views until they went to 0. If your entire store, Carl, a week and a half ago, suddenly everything that you had in your store went to 0 views and 1 view, would you be a little concerned? I was. No, and they're welcomed. But you know what I mean? It wasn't a subtle thing. It was a shattering, sudden, and dramatic event, and again, for me to have like 0 sales, was it Saturday? I think it was Saturday during Memorial Day weekend, 0 with 3,100 listings. No, it's never happened. So, and far be it from, I keep saying this because now this is the second show in a row. I'm kind of complaining. I don't mean to. I really don't mean to complain. I just want to bring up points and gather opinions from you guys. And try to make a change for the better for my store, of course, and for everybody else out there. Like Allie, I appreciate the hope that that number of recommended specific should go down. So if I go in again, let's see, what did I do? It's Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So today's really 48 hours. Let's say tomorrow morning I get up at 6 o'clock and I go bam, and I do all 3,000 again. I wonder if I'll have less recommended. Oh yeah. Over a long period of time too. It's not an anomaly, right? But eBay is indeed the only site that I know of that you have to babysit like this and really be on your toes at all times with it. You know, I don't have to do this with Etsy. But again, I have a very small fraction of items, relatively speaking, listed on Etsy and on Discogs. I saw on Discogs too some records. Nothing close to the volume that I have on eBay. So I don't know if it's just a matter of, if I did have more volume, maybe there would be more issues on those other sites, but somehow I doubt that. Yep, they are. But we need to adapt, right, Stephen? That's the whole key. We touched on that Friday too. You just have to adapt. The one constant is change. And every time these things change, you have to adapt to them. If you choose to play in this game, you have to adapt. You think you have lost a sold item in inventory, so I'm not perfect. That's good to know. That's good to know. Yeah, that's another thing. It's interesting you brought that up. The one thing I was a little afraid of was, I wrote down, this was a little bit of an anal move on my part, but what I did is, before I did any of these changes, I did write down I think it was 3,094 or something like that was my total listings, right? So when I went in and deleted, relisted, deleted, relisted, I wanted to make sure I kept coming back to that number, that a couple didn't fall by the wayside. And sure enough, they all did. They all came back. So when I was done with this exercise, I had the same amount of listings as I did when I started it. I was afraid of that. I was afraid of something just slipping into the abyss. And how do you find that, right? Would it go into the ended tab? I don't know. But it's not exactly, I'm sure everybody out here has done this. If you haven't done it, it's something to be frightened of as far as ending and sell similar, but you do have to just it's not so simple that you don't have to keep your eyes on it anyway. I think the biggest thing is remembering to delete them out of your ended folder or ended tab within eBay. All right. So with all this said, since, what is this now? Today's the 6th. Right? It's my daughter's birthday, my youngest daughter's birthday. Happy birthday, baby. On this day of June 6th, hold on, Sarah, what a big comment. Wanted to mention. Okay. There were several under the Chevrolet auto category. It was for something totally non-correlated. So somebody just chose that category incorrectly, Sarah, I guess is what you're saying? Thanks, Allie. Yeah. My baby. With 3 lists, you don't need to delete anything in the ended list. Well, yeah, that's a benefit, sure. And that's a fairly recent enhancement call, right? That they give you a new item number when you just do a straight out relist. That was always the big thing. If you do sell similar, you get a new item number. If you do relist, you didn't. But I think they did put a fix through a while ago. That supposedly you do get the new listing on that one too. What I was going to say, I'm sorry. So it's June 6th. So I am about 10, 12 days beyond that D-Day of, no pun intended, as today is D-Day, of May 26th was my day of reckoning. That's when Krylov came in big time on my account. So let me see how many days that is. It's just short of 2 weeks, right? Yeah, Thursday will be 2 weeks. Sorry, so 12 days in, suffered mightily for about 9 of those 12. And now I know that, at least in the short term, what I did is definitely yielding some benefits. And I'm happy about that. Hopefully it's not something that has to be repeated every couple of days, but apparently I'm not the only one that does this. I know a lot of other people have already written that they do the same thing. And I guess you kind of have to at this point. You can't just set it and forget it anymore. You have to be in there and handhold this thing all the time. Sarah, is unrelated sellers eBay change? Oh, that's possible. Well, we did touch on that too, Sarah. Remember that the whole collectibles category is supposedly being restructured, not unlike the postcard category about a year ago, when they took whatever, I don't know, 10, 15, whatever subcategories there were and consolidated it all into 2. And I shaked thinking about the prospects of them doing that in collectibles and reducing everything to a couple of mini categories. But that is possible too. We did discuss that maybe that could have a bearing, because of the 3,100 listings I have, probably 2,500 are collectibles. So that could also be playing a role, the fact that they're tweaking that category. I don't know. I'll give it a try. I've never done just straight, maybe just do it on a smaller sample size, obviously. Yeah, I'm not afraid of trying anything. Hi, Winter Crow. Greetings. Welcome. Rewind. Nothing happened. I was just talking about, if you remember Friday, we were discussing, at least in my case, some woeful sales and some. I have a terrible mosquito bite. I'm sorry, guys. I'm itching my ankle because it's killing me. We were discussing the fact that, in my case anyway, my views had deteriorated to almost nothing, like 0, 1. I'm talking about items that were 3, 4 months old. So what I did, really, to give you a quick version, when a crow was on Saturday morning, I went in and I deleted every single listing except for about 90 of them that I had listed from June 1st. So this was on the 4th, right? I deleted everything from 531 and older and just sold similar on every one of them. It was about 3,000 listings. And I did absolutely see a little uptick in sales and certainly more views, more views that I'm accustomed to seeing. They're definitely lower than normal, but that's okay because we discussed the fact that eBay was supposedly putting in a fix to, accurately categorize the amount of views you're really getting, stating that apparently prior to this fix they put through, they weren't really true numbers. So that's fine. If it goes down a little bit, I guess that was to be expected. But again, from 100 to 0, just not cool. So that's what I did, Winter Crow. I went in, I deleted everything and sold similar. Carl's been talking up a storm tonight, which I really appreciate, and giving out great advice. But Carl goes in and just does, what is it called, Carl? Not resell. What is it called? Relist. He just deletes them all and then relists them. He doesn't go in and do sell similar. And apparently he's getting great results with that too. Yeah, the work. I never mind doing the work as long as I know there'll be a benefit from it. If we're just doing busy work like that recommended stuff that everybody was getting into initially when it first came out, we were all going in and spending hours and hours going into every listing and putting NA or whatever updates we needed to do or what eBay suggested we do on those, especially the required specifics. That was kind of a waste of time. You mean you had 100 views? Do you mean over the entire time? Yes, exactly. And now they've categorized it so it's like last 70 days, last 30 days, last 7 days, right? So it does make sense that I knew the numbers would go down, but when they went to 0 and then, ended the listing went across. Sorry, I'm using the term deleted. Yeah, ended them. I didn't delete them. Ended, sold similar for 3,000. Yeah, because they're not going to be, especially if they were 4 months old, right? It's not going to show anything. But 0 in the last 30 days. So anyway, that really gives credence to this whole idea of ending listings every couple of days and just either relisting them or sell similar on everything. Apparently that's the only reason. They can't keep a listing viable for more than a couple of days on eBay. Having total views, which is why I never concerned myself with views. I didn't care. In fact, you're right. If something has 200 views and nobody bought it, it means there's something wrong with my listing. Yeah, which is probably why they segregated it now, that you could break it down to 7 days and 30 days. So I thought it was a good idea. I think if it's a more realistic count, then that's a wonderful thing. But sales went to 0. That wasn't a wonderful thing. When sales go to 0, bad things. So that's it for this, hopefully, for this story about what I did. I think a lot of people do the same thing. Yeah, and again, I guess to an extent, I keep saying it, but it's the truth. I'm not here to bash eBay. I don't blame eBay for any of this. I know it's complicated. It's a huge system. It's a huge site, millions and millions of users on it, lots of information stored within. So I'm sure when you tinker with things, there's going to be some fallout. We've all experienced that. It's what you do after the fact and how you handle them. And you can't just sit back and wait for the smoke to clear. You got to kind of get in there and be proactive, which is, again, based upon some really good advice that I received from all you guys on Friday. I did the same thing. I just didn't expect, again, to do the entire store, but maybe that's what it takes. And maybe it's something I will go in and do every couple of days. Steven, I used to sell similar, but I found I'm not saying amount of success if I just changed the price. Oh, yeah? Because you're tweaking one of those, the 3 big things. Yeah, the price, a picture, or the title. Cool. And you could do the same thing. You could bulk change prices, obviously, right? Just go in and bam, and add a penny to everything, or whatever's reasonable. Add $1, take away $1. And the only 1-2 punch, I know a lot of you guys say you run sales concurrent with this. Like every 2 days, you'll also run a sale. My thing is I'm using this public coupon on my ads and some records I think I did in the most recent one. And those I do very short term too. I only do for like a day or two. And then it ends automatically because you put an end date, just like a sale. You put an end date on it. When it ends, I usually let it sit for a couple hours. I see what happened, then I'll do a new one. And you just have to change that code. There's a code that you're able to populate, your own proprietary code. You have to change it. And you could run the same thing, basically. Yep. All right. Well, if anybody has any other comments about this whole fiasco, please feel free. I really appreciate it. Hope everybody else is selling with some consistency, not experiencing any major issues. If you are, let us know. Maybe collectively we could help out. And Winter Crow was saying about the title. Yeah, exactly. The three that I know of, Winter Crow, is supposedly the title, a picture, if you upload a new photo or delete a photo, and the price. Those are the three components of the listing, supposedly, that if you alter them in any way, you'll get a boost. So, all right, guys. I guess we will, let's do a little bit of listing, because that's what we do on this show. We list. And I will, if it's okay with you guys, I'm going to go into my drafts folder quickly. And I'd like to finish some of the ads from the magazine we worked on Friday, which was Life magazine from, let me see what the month was again, March of 67. Yeah, exactly. That's it. It's supposed to refresh it, give it a new look or whatever. Whatever it takes. Apparently, and Carl just alluded to that. You don't want to have items obviously out there in any fashion for over a certain period of time, unless they're quote unquote long-term items, which is fine. But generally it's true. If you don't want to see something out there with 100 views that's been sitting in your store, for 3 months, that means there's probably not a lot of interest. They look at it and go, it's like window shopping, right? All right, let me pull up my screen here and we'll get a couple of listings done. Don't have to spend the whole show doing this, but I would like just for myself to get rid of these handful that are left from Friday. And then maybe if anybody has any interest, we could look at a couple of 78s. I'll show you guys a couple of sites I use to research 78s, which I'm sure everybody's familiar with, but PopPsych and Discogs are two that I go to, and of course good old eBay. But some of the 78s, because they're typically a little more scarce than common albums would be, you're not going to find all of them on eBay. So I like to use some other resources to help my my research. Let's share my screen. There we go. All right. Yep. Just to refresh everybody's memory, we are dealing with the Life magazine from March of 67, 14 by 11 inches. Now that we have a decent group of people in here, I hope you guys saw my What's Sold video. I put it up at 5:30, I think, so about an hour and a half ago. You'll see we did manage to scruff out a couple of ads, which is always a good thing. But the cool thing is about 2 or 3 of those ads that I highlighted in my video were really recent listings that we did together on one of these listing shows. Like that Indian motorcycle, if you guys remember, one of the Quaker Oats ads I think we did together pretty recently. So it's good to see that some of them really do, like I've always said, right? Some sell very quickly and some will sit out there for a period. But over time, over the course of time, they should all sell. You just have to have the right buyer. As cliche as that sounds, it's extremely true. Pull up my photos. Sorry about leaning in like that. Yeah, we only have, 4 or 5 left from that magazine. So let's just bang those out. Is Dawn still here? Dawn, I saved an item specifically for you. And Carl, if you're still here, I saved a very special Canadian item for you, both of you guys. So please raise your hand if you're still present. If not, I will save it until you're back. But there's an ad I wanted to show you guys. So please let me know. And if not, we will we'll move on to a different ad and I'll save it. But I really wanted to show Dawn this one because we often joke around about the whole Canada thing. And I did mention that I actually love Canada. The places I've been have been nothing short of beautiful. Very nice people. Let me just refresh something really quick on my other computer. There we go. Okay. So anyway, Carl, going once. Carl, let me know if you're here, man. I want to show you something. Dawn, let me know if you're here. Or did you fall asleep already? Dawn goes for naps now and then. All right, let's bring up another item until we hear back from our two Canadian friends. The first one I will pull up is, we'll go with something real simple. No, we won't because it's too big. We will go with an old standby, folks. The Caddy, 1967. Looks like a gold Cadillac. Oh, Jeff with some feedback. Hang on. Oh, no problem at all, man. Don't apologize for driving. I'm glad you didn't write anything. You do not relist all of the stores. We do 10% of the store every day per 3,000. Okay, 100 a day. Cool. And then do you do a sale along with that, Jeff, or you just the refreshing of your listings on a constant basis seems to do the trick? And did you get through this whole period that I've been complaining about for the last two shows without any major downtick in your sales? It could just be a matter of when they went, Carl alluded to this earlier, maybe when they went in and did this true count thing, right? And I did have some items from, what did I say, middle of February or something, I think were my oldest ones that were active. And some of them did have like over 100 views on them. And then they went down to 0 because it was just calculating the last 30 days, the last 7 days. That proves that they were stale, that nobody had viewed them in the last 7 days or whatever time frame it was when they actually did this change. So it really speaks to this whole idea of going in constantly and, ending a series of listings and relisting them. No sales, just offered a while. Yeah. And the offers, Jeff, if you heard while you were driving, I was very pleasantly surprised by that. I got like I said, this morning, I think there were 30 or so offers for like brand new items that have offers. So that proves obviously, people are looking again, which is very encouraging. It might have just been a case where I had too many of those items sitting there for 2, 3, 4 months at this point, I guess, and I needed to refresh them. So that's fine. I did kind of start the whole thing on Friday by saying, I saw that there was a correlation, like I keep saying, between that date and my date where everything fell off the table, but maybe it is, partially my fault, which was my first thought. I'm not one to go right to eBay and say, oh, what did they do? They screwed up my life. I try to go in and fix what I can fix. So it might have taken a week or so to learn, but again, with your help and everybody's suggestions, I did go in, I did all 3,000, and it's definitely, reduced things anyway. So we'll see if it continues. I don't want to wait too long though, because if everything pauses again or gets really bad, I don't want to have to keep doing 3,000 at a time. I kind of like your approach, Jeff, where you do a percentage every day or every other day. All right, guys. Cadillac, gold Cadillac. The writing is kind of small, but let's see if we could see what what model it is. Well, it's actually two Cadillacs. One's like almost like a platinum color, a copper color, and one is a gold. So both metallic. Standard of the world Cadillac. All right, let me just get the word Cadillac in there. You won't be surprised to know the Cadillac does in fact have its own category within eBay under automobile. So let's just show everybody that. If you hit change category, you see automobiles, American Cadillac. And let me get my store category corrected to automobile. And let me adjust my price because it's a car. We always go up $5 for 1 pages. And let me make sure all my other stuff. Yeah, I still have my 1% in there. Fix that. Shipping. All right, everything else is cool. All this still applies. All right, let's fill out some of the required specifics. It's Cadillac. It's a print ad. It is a multicolor advertisement. We don't know the model yet. I'll have to read a little more. United States. It's original. It's from 1967. Theme is automobiles, right? Yep. All right, we'll go in and populate the model once I can figure out what the model is, hopefully with your help. Let me blow this one up because the writing is just too small, and I'll show everybody the blown up version. It's a lot more helpful when we can see it clearly, right? There we go. Okay. Let's read this together, everybody. See if it tells us what the models are. Looks like the first one is a Fleetwood Eldorado, world's finest personal car, of course. Do we see a second one, though? Whether it's the dramatic new Fleetwood Eldorado, the world's finest personal car, one of the 11 other models. Okay, so they only speak to the Fleetwood Eldorado. And I can't really tell which one is which, if the top one is that or the bottom one. But pretty basic ad, right? Just two nice big Cadillacs, little scene, mother, daughter, dad hanging out. Looks like a lake. It's not really big to mention in the ad itself. And this is just a red light in an unknown city. Okay, actually, yes. In the top right, I know you guys might be difficult to see, but it says Fleetwood Eldorado up here. So this copper one is definitely the Fleetwood Eldorado. All right. So let me go in and we will update the model on that one. Okay, there's the picture, the regular size picture. So for model, I'm going to put Fleetwood Eldorado. And up here, I'm also going to put Fleetwood Eldorado. This is not, again, the most visually exciting advertisement. It's pretty basic. It's like one rural, one city, one urban kind of view. Two exciting reasons. I think the metallic colors are kind of cool. Just says, you know, yay, Cadillac, of course. So I guess I'll just put two models. I'm going to put metallic colors, colored. Let me know if you guys think about that title. I appreciate it. Dawn, if you fell asleep, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to have to let you have it. I guess we're good with the title, right? Again, I know nothing really that exciting in the actual photo to kind of call out in the listing. All right, so let's list this one. So I just want to bang out the few that were left from Friday's show. All right, so that's up for 20 bucks. Let's see. Hopefully it sells sooner than later. Alrighty. That one, let me see if there's any more car ads. We'll just get rid of the car ads. That might be the last one, but I will check quickly. We'll figure out if it is or not. Okay, we do have one more car ad. And it is for the good old Plymouth Valiant. Black and white. Again, kind of a basic looking advertisement. Apparently they didn't have much of a budget for this one. Just a lot of blah, blah, blah text. And a couple of illustrations of the Plymouth Valiant. I'm trying to look, just give a quick gander here to see if it says anything. It's not a sports car. Yeah, pretty basic. Let's put this in Chrysler. ENT or ANT? ANT? Yep. And let's check to see the category if Chrysler has its own. And sure enough, there it is. Chrysler. Bam. Hey, Lori, how are you? Happy Monday. Welcome aboard. We have reached the listing portion of the show after an hour of yapping, but I hope things are going well with you, Lori. Hope your sales are doing well. I'm going to give you the really consolidated version of the last hour. Basically, I went in. I have about 3,100 listings. I ended 3,000 of them on Saturday and sold similar on all 3,000, and it seemed to kickstart some action in my, not surprisingly, by the way, seemed to kickstart a little activity, got a few sales. Kind of, what did we determine? Almost doubled the amount of impressions I was getting prior to doing that adjustment. So hopefully things have turned around. I have views on items like I would expect to. I had 32 or 34, whatever it said, offers to send out today, which was kind of cool after days of very, very few. So hopefully things have turned around, and now we're back to the good old listing portion. So I hope things are going well over there, Lori, and thank you very much for checking in. We're on our second and I think last car of tonight. We're just finishing up. You were on Friday, right, Lori? We're finishing up the magazine that we were listing on Friday, which is a 1967 Life magazine from the month of March. So let's fill this stuff in. Chrysler. This is a black and white ad. I had people ask in comments and stuff on videos, do I charge differently for black and white versus color? And the answer is no. I don't take it down because it's black and white or add a premium because it's color. It's really dependent on a few different factors, but it's still a car ad, so I'm not going to take it down just because it's black and white. Again, the beauty of running your own business is it's your business and you run it how you want. All right, so that's all the same. And it's funny, they're calling this a compact car. It's probably bigger than anything on the road nowadays, unfortunately. But compact cars sure were a good idea. Valiant still is. Let's see what they're touting here. Looks like a stick down there. Looks like safety. Too many words. I don't know how about you guys, but if you were thumbing through a magazine, would you take the time to read all this nonsense about a car? I wouldn't. I wonder how well the sales went. I wonder how well Chrysler sales went. So I'm going to just kind of write, when in doubt, like if there isn't a lot to visually to talk about, like we've said a million times, but if there's a dog in there or a baby or anything else really interesting or noteworthy that we would kind of highlight. If it's really cut and dry, it's black and white, it's a lot of type, not much to say, I'll just steal exactly what they wrote. Compact cars were a good idea. You know what I mean? It fills out characters. There really isn't much else to say. And then you get some good keywords. Car is a good word to have in a car ad for sure, right? Compact cars were a good. Yeah, I thought I saw you, Lori. Thanks for coming back. I mean, unless anybody sees anything really cool in this, what looks like a pencil drawing. Hey, Mother's Mustache, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining. If you just joined, you can check the replay from 6 to 7. We were talking about all the different ways to try to rejuvenate activity within our store or our listings as a whole. I did a kind of dramatic, for me anyway, move on Saturday, and it seems to have helped a lot. And now I'm just in a point where, do I have to do it every couple of days or not? I don't know. Anybody else see anything cool in this picture that I don't see? Because I don't. So let's just get rid of these things. Hopefully we'll find some more exciting ones. That is the last car ad. We had a lot of car ads in that magazine, which is pretty typical. You know, you're going to see a lot of car advertisements. Just think about commercials on TV. It's the same thing. There's a lot of car commercials too, right? You've watched a football game? Every other commercial is for a car or beer. Alrighty, there are the car ads. Bye-bye for now. What else we have left? There's a couple left, I think. Mother's Mustache and Lori and Steven, actually, I never asked you, do you guys have any interest in 78 Records? Do you know about them? Do you sell them? Do you care about them? Let me know, because I have a few to list, and I was going to share that with the group, and maybe we go through looking up some 78s together. But let me know if you're interested in that or not. I'd appreciate it. Just for some variety. I have a bunch. I still have tons I have to list, but I went and I took some photos of them over the weekend. Again, one thing to mention is if you do have, after I went through my after I went through my therapy on Saturday and did all those listings, redid all those listings, I also went in like I always do, and I took some photos of new things to list, right? I'm always trying to keep my store fresh. I went in and I took photos of like 50, 78s. I just take a photos of, I'll show you when we get to that listing portion, but I just take a photo of the label, the A and B side of the labels, pretty clearly. Some of them are scuffed up. Some of them have pen marks on them. That's okay. It happens all the time. A lot of people used to sign their records when it was a proud, very proud thing to have a record. So you'll often see like, Maggie's 78 or whatever written on it. As long as you have full disclosure, you say that there's some writing, whatever, it's usually not a problem. They're all in generally decent condition, the 78s that I put up for sale. None of them are sparkling new, that's for sure. But I don't think you're going to find any that are new. But they all play. I test every one of them. I have a phonograph with a 78 speed, so I always check them out. I don't listen to both sides in the completely, but I'll kind of skip through, make sure they all have that general hissy sound. But I think there's a charm to that. But yeah, I did take about 50, I think. So I figured we could go through and list some of those if there's any interest in that. Oh, thank you, Mother's Mustache. That's okay. Let me pull up some comments. It's also nice of you guys. Steven sells a few. Cool. Looking forward to it. Awesome. Laura's open to any kind of items. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely true. I appreciate your company too, Mother's Mustache. Thank you. Allie would be interesting. You don't sell them. I don't know how to tell if a record is good or not for playing them. Stephen with the point of the night. Yeah, the shellac. They're made of shellac, folks. The 78s, the old 78 records, literally shellac. If you breathe on them, they will crack. And they don't break. They chunk off. You could hold the side of a record with your thumb and your index finger, go like this and pull a piece off. Like it doesn't break in half. It just, they're almost like thin pieces of glass. They are extremely fragile. So great point, Stephen. The shipping is the most crucial element, I think, of the whole 78 selling process. You better ship them right. And we can get into that in some detail. I'm just thinking of doing a general video on 78s too, for anybody who might be interested. But there's lots of great, Auction Professor, of course, my favorite guy out there, has a whole series on 78s. He has, especially on his Patreon, he has a lot of stuff about 78s. But you can find great information out there about, in general, about 78 records and selling them. They're often bought for dirt cheap. You can get, they're available everywhere too. And you don't buy one-offs. You buy tons of them at once, a whole crate for $5 or something. But you can make some money on them. So I choose to, I do not use alcohol, Rutan, absolutely not. Or on vinyl. No. Believe it or not, Rutan, a 78, if you're going to wash it, just soap and water. Seriously. Soap and water, very, very light pressure, because as Steven said, they are so fragile. You look at them the wrong way and they will crack in front of your face, and it's awful. It's an awful feeling. Hello. And you know what I realized is it pronounced, here we go again with pronunciation. Is it DuPage or DuPage? I think I was calling you DuPage all night Friday. I don't know. Is it really supposed to be DuPage? But welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. That's why not on my feet. Yeah, exactly. They are, auctions, a great place to find them. Absolutely. Antique malls, real estate, estate sales. Let me know I don't know how we could spell that phonetically, DuPage. If it's DuPage, put like a couple of A's. And if it's just DuPage, then leave it as it is, if you would. I just want to make sure I pronounce it correctly. Everybody wishing DuPage. Second is right. DuPage. So it's not DuPage, it's DuPage. Okay. I don't want to dwell on that for 20 minutes, but I felt bad at the end. I was watching the replay from Friday and I realized I kept saying DuPage. I'm like, isn't DuPage like a crafting technique or something? I might be mixing up my words, but that, and I realized later, I'm like, oh my goodness, was I calling him DuPage and it's supposed to be DuPage all night? Well, thanks for clearing. Anyway, yeah, maybe we'll take a look at some 78s together. Why not? Okay, the car ads are gone. Let's see what else we have left. We only have a couple of ads left, but if Dawn ever comes back, we will show her the Canadian ad. If not, then she's going to have to wait. She is. I have a couple of photos in here that I took that apparently are a little bit too big. We've talked about that too, but the one downside of that big old flatbed scanner is on occasion, certain ads, for whatever reason, it's not consistent again, it's only some of them, come out a little bit too large, and I have to reduce them slightly. So let me do that really quickly on a couple so we can get right to listing them. Like this one was too big, so let's reduce this one. I have to reduce it too much. Just a little bit. There's one. I do believe this one needs to be reduced too, so reduce this a little bit. All right, there we go. We should be in business. All right, next up is something we haven't seen that many of. Greg name works too. That's funny. Okay. Greg it is. I present to you 5 Polaroid cameras. Everybody give a look at this picture when I blow it up. And where's your selling point, everybody? Hey, Jan, welcome aboard. Welcome. As I swig some water again. Everybody should be a Python fan with a crow. You see this, everybody? 5 Polaroid cameras. I knew Allie would say creepy. For some reason, clowns are now creepy. Just universally accepted as creepy. Not really sure why. But yep, that indeed is a clown down there. It's not a famous clown or anything like that, you know. It's not Bozo, but it is indeed a clown. And I'm thinking clowns, for better or worse, sell. Yep. Evil clown, says Eric. Again, hey, Jan, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining. So we have creepy clown, says Allie. Evil clown, says Eric. Lori just says clown. Strange things, stranger things. He's with the child. Maybe that's it. Yeah, the heart. Is that why everybody's afraid of clowns now from the book or the movie? Did they make a movie? I guess they made a movie. I know it was a book. Yep, but we got the clown, ladies and gentlemen. We got a clown who will be highlighted in this ad. Trauma-inducing bad memory clown. Why are clowns so scared of people? I have no fear of a clown. Never feared them. Never understood why people are afraid of them, but it's okay. To each their own. Trauma-inducing. Oof. All right. Let us just begin this thing by putting in the Polaroid, right? Here's an example that we've touched on before with other items where, again, it's like the topic or the item itself, in this case, a set of 5 new Polaroid cameras from 1967, are kind of irrelevant. It's the fact that there's a creepy, whatever other word you want to attribute to it, clown within the ad. And I think that's the thing that you're going to show. You're going to have some people that collect photograph and photography items. Absolutely. Camera items. You're also going to bring in another element of the whole creepy clown culture and people that dig them, people that hate them. Beautiful thing when you can bring in people from different groups that typically collect from different genres and combine them into one advertisement. That's the best of both worlds. All right, so the question is going to be, where do we place our creepy clown verbiage? But let's just get Polaroid and cameras taken care of. This is something I wanted to show everybody because it's happened. I don't have that many camera ads, surprisingly, but when I do, I have a lot of Kodak film ads. Kodak film, Kodachrome, Kodacolor, all those things are very, very popular. The Brownie, if you guys remember the camera that everybody had, they come up with some frequency. But just like this, like just a Polaroid advertisement, for whatever reason, there is no category that says cameras. And I always struggle a little bit. 67, DuPage, 67, March of 67. That's what we're working with tonight. We're finishing up from Friday's batch. There was a few ads left. What I was saying is there are no camera categories. So, you know, obviously I go with suggested 9 times out of 10 because it's going to be appropriate for me, but once in a while you have to go in and browse and look at some or search. You can search. So if I just put like camera advertisement, right? Dreaded. This is actually a category for cameras. We're not going to put it in the camera category as discussed on Friday. We're not going to put it in a category for a product when it's an ad for a product. But that's it. You see this, everybody? There's no other advertising category for cameras or for film. Like I'll put, or Kodak. I'll put the word Kodak in thinking for sure there'd be a Kodak. Nope, no Kodak. So this is the black hole of all advertising. If you just go into a generic, like I'm going to wind up doing actually, merchandise and memorabilia, advertising and print for an entire decade, 60 to 69. That's where this is going to land. Not a big fan of that because I think I could get lost in the mire. You know, we're going to have millions and millions of advertising pieces from a 10-year span of all different types. And then your little Polaroid ad just gets kind of thrown. Well, what's going to take this out of the abyss is going to be our clown. Our creepy clown is our friend tonight. Everybody's talking about why clowns are scary, I guess, huh? Hey, Jan. Yeah, photography, but not advertisement. Like I could put it in an actual proper photograph or a photography category, but it's not a photograph. It's an advertisement. So it really bugs me. Captures, yep, instant memories, the little tagline. Just put Stephen King, it, everyone. Yeah, probably true, Stephen. Clowns only have a little makeup. Hey. Jeff with a little dab at the female, the entire female population. No, all in good fun. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to put Stephen King and all that in, but it can't hurt, right? You're right. It'll probably attract some views. I don't know if has anybody ever used the word creepy or anything like that in a title? I wonder if anything like adjectives like that are frowned upon. I'm not really sure. Yep. See, Winter Crow is about to take a swing, Jeff. Watch yourself. Photographers do collect camera stuff. And Jan, I don't know if you've had any experience with this, but this happens all the time with my ads. I'm going to bring up two really brief examples. One you just saw, right, where you're doing a Polaroid advertisement and it prompts you, at least one of the categories was for actual photography, 35 millimeter cameras, let's just say, right? The other example I have that's really fresh in my mind that I bring up all the time is typewriters. I have a ton of typewriter ads, but there's no category for typewriters. Typewriter advertisement, excuse me. There are typewriter proper categories, and I made the mistake of putting an ad for a typewriter in a typewriter category, and I got crucified for it by somebody who bought my ad for $15. And I know I've told this story a couple of times. I apologize to those of you who have to keep hearing it, but for Jan, if you haven't heard this dilemma I always face, a lady bought the ad from me for $15. It was like a 1910 Remington typewriter advertisement. And she wrote me a nasty message like 5 minutes after she bought it. Cancel this transaction. You are misleading people. I thought this was the typewriter I was buying. Even though it was clearly an advertisement, I said that it was advertising. So anyway, to avoid all that going forward, I know I had a couple of other people in the chat on Friday that agreed with me. I do not put advertisement pieces in a category for the actual item. In this case, I'm not going to put, even though it makes sense logically, I'm not going to put a Polaroid advertisement in a camera category. Hope that makes some sense, but I've been burnt by it. And I'm, all it resulted in was no big deal. I just canceled a $15 sale. It wasn't something that was shipped out and she returned and gave me bad feedback. None of that. But the poor lady was clearly misguided. Pigeon-breasted clown. Are you joking, Rutan? Or is that, we always seem to come up with those kind of terms, right? I'm experimenting with decade 60s in title and exact year and item specifics. You mean verses? I have both. I have, and my title always starts with the, not always, but for the ads starts with the year. And then I'll put it in the specifics as well. But you could, play around. Let me know if anything is impacted. No experience over. Thank you, Jan. But in that one brief instance, just heed my advice. If you want to sell advertising, don't put the piece that's being advertised into a category for the piece. It could cause, and maybe that was a one-off, but I heard, again, I remember on Friday, a couple of people mentioned they had similar experiences with different products, but the same idea. There's another really good example. Pen advertisements, which sell very well, by the way. Parker pens, all that stuff. If you put a Parker pen advertisement in the Parker pen department, you might get some grief. Food for thought. I don't think that's Emmett Kelly, no. Because if it was, they would definitely mention the fact it was Eric. Like they would have a little bubble out there or something. Yeah, and Emmett, that's a good point, was not creepy. Exactly, Stephen. But unfortunately, that's all too common, right? People don't read. Read something as big. I wasn't expecting her to dive deep in the reading. It's in the title, like as basic as the title. And then again in the description where it says condition description, the measurements, 18 and 11 inch paper advertisement from Life magazine or whatever magazine that typewriter wasn't Life, but you get the drift. Yeah, I haven't come across one, Jan. If there was, that's where this would live. Ugly Sweat. Yeah, exactly. I bet, Rutan. Do I want my pretty little ad to be lumped in with a bunch of creepy clowns? Yes, he was. I sold an Emmett Kelly lithograph. Is that the right word? An art piece a couple of years ago for some pretty good money. It was part of a series that he did. It was like 6 posters or something. I can't remember what the company was that was promoting, but it was like a giveaway that if you bought whatever the product was, you could, mail away and get a lithograph from Emmett Kelly. And we sold 2 or 3 of them for like $75, I want to say, a piece or so. It was really nice. Very, very, very beautifully done artwork too. Party clown. Basic circus clown. Yeah, collector's plates. On YouTube, party clown. All right, let's get this clown listed. What do we have? What is the ad? Again, it's almost secondary. What is the ad? It says there's just 5 different types of Polaroid cameras, right? So let us, since I'm in this abyss of advertising 60 to 69, this is clearly not an automobile. Let's put this in my store category of cameras and film. Polaroid cameras, I'll put plural. Get our creepy clown up front. And I absolutely defer to all you guys with this because I don't think I have a list of other than the Emmett Kelly stuff, which was not an advertisement. I don't think I've ever had a clown on an advertisement yet. Can we zoom in? Yes, we can, Allie, absolutely. You had a similar buy. Here we go. A shot of a TV showing a video game working. Buyer wanted TV included. And even mentioned TV not included. Yes, that's... You'd be amazed, right? To Page. Dawn woke back up. Welcome back. All right, you're next. You're next in the queue, okay? Hey, Eric. Creepy clown chalkware items. Ooh, really? Cool. Yeah, so again, my new thing is to avoid any potential. I mean, that might have been a one-off thing, but apparently it's not. Page had a similar story. I think I heard a couple. I think CJ said something about that a while. And CJ, I know you're listening and just being quiet. He's always there. I just avoid that at all costs. Seriously, guys, I won't, even if it doesn't seem like a big deal. I just don't want to. I almost feel like I got away with something that time, even though I know it wasn't my fault and people don't read, they're idiots. At the same time, what if they did buy it, but what if they didn't say anything? I sent it and then I got some, horrible comment or negative feedback. Never get negative feedback. 0, 0, 0. I don't think I've ever had one. And I don't want to start now with something so ridiculous. And knowing eBay, they'd probably side with the buyer, excuse me. So anyway, I avoid all that kind of nonsense. CJ is lurking as always with a bowl of grape nuts, right? All right, guys, how are we going to word our clown? Do we simply, all right, let's take it slow here. Excited about getting my clown up. And do we put a premium on the creepy clown? I'm thinking we have to put a premium, right? Polaroid. US. Whoever was asking before, I'm sorry, I forgot who it was, but 67 again is our year for this one. March of 67. But according to eBay, time frame, we have a whole decade to search through. Don't want my clown get. Hopefully, just having the word clown in that picture will pull it out of the abyss of that category, right? God bless, Stephen. Look at this, folks. That's what I like to see. Copy whatever he's doing. Hey-o. Yeah, exactly. It's got to be done, man. There's just, especially when you have kind of a mulligan there, right? You got away with one, if you will, or even though it's nonsense, I don't think I did anything. I know I didn't do anything wrong, or I was in no way misleading anybody. But since that one person said that or thought that, I guess there's potential that a handful of mine have also thought just as stupidly. So to avoid all that, now you jinxed it. No, he's proud. Come on. I think after 10 years, the kibosh is lifted. You can't jinx. You're on a roll like that. Let me just ask you, Stephen, have you ever had a situation where you received one, but it was reversed? Or have you literally never even had one ever? Because that is impressive. Yeah, that's cool. Hey, welcome, Kelly. How you doing? I did. Yeah. Did I have one? I didn't have a negative. I had a neutral once. I think once or twice I've had a neutral and both of them got reversed. Never had one. Good for you, Stephen. Let me ask you a question. Do you sell everything under the sun? Do you specialize in one or two items? What do you sell? You can't be selling clothes if you have no returns or no negatives. That's one of the reasons I know it's popular nowadays. Everybody bashes clothing sellers. I know they sell well and they make a lot of money, but you do get a whole lot of returns with clothes, and often, there's a potential for negative feedback when people don't fit in, can't stuff themselves into a t-shirt they thought they fit in. So I'm not a clothing guy at all. I will sell the odd piece of clothing if it's something special or unique, like a rock and roll t-shirt, or I did sell some of my wife's clothes. She lost some weight and she couldn't fit in some clothing, so we sold a couple of things. I will sell shoes now and then, but again, they're usually just her shoes, or my mother-in-law gives us her shoes. But I try to shy away from that stuff. But if somebody gives it to you for free, you got to sell it, right? Yeah, exactly. Never had a return. Good for you, Jan. I've had a couple of returns. Not that many, though. But never any malice. You know what I mean? Nobody's ever complained or yelled about something and said, I want to return this. It's always been something silly, But very, very few returns. Thank goodness. But that's, again, kudos to Stephen here. Man who sells everything for 20 plus years. Good work. Oh, we got a love affair here. Dawn and Jan. All right, guys, here we go. This is the big moment, right? We have all item specifics. Yep, they're all filled out. Let's present the clown one more time. Oh, I think Allie had asked for a blow up. Let's blow this guy up. Let's see how big we can get this creepy clown. He is definitely a generic run-of-the-mill clown. I don't mean to disappoint anybody, but don't expect Yucko the Clown, for those of you who remember who that is. Remember Yucko the Clown, everybody? Tease ephemera toys, otherwise ugly vintage clothing. Yeah, there you go. Vintage clothing. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, the odd, cool piece of something. Like I said, concert T-shirts and things of that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's not bozo. All right, let's bring up the blow up of the clown. Going to put a little caveat out here. I am not responsible for any adverse effects of visualizing. You fully take on the responsibility of viewing this creepy 1967 clown, folks. I will not be held responsible. I'm telling you right now. Write your congressman. Don't write me. We should have some creepy clown music. Dawn, get on that. You have a wrench. Get me some creepy clown music. Let's put them up. Ready? Brace yourselves, folks. Very basic clown, wouldn't you say? We could actually, let me kick this up a notch. I'm going to do a little snipping action on the clown. You see this, everybody? Nah, that's too much trouble. Anyway, you can see the clown, right, everybody? Just a generic clown. Looks like a carnival kind of thing going on. Little boy hanging out. Doesn't look terrified in any way. You could barely see him, Dawn, huh? Well, there's no way really to blow him up within the ad, unfortunately. But he's definitely the star of the ad. I don't think anybody really cares about the Polaroids necessarily. What do you guys think? Is he scary in any way? Uh-oh. Allie's, look at this. Allie thinks he's got a weird smile. Take a look. Take a look and weep, everybody. Got multicolored balloons going in the background. I guess we could throw in the word carnival. That's probably a good thing, right? He definitely has a big mouth. I would agree with that. I mean, just for fun, should we look at the cameras at all? Does anybody really care about the cameras? Is anything, any camera guys out there that might know these models or anything like that? Is there anything? Yes, they are colorful. Good point. You see how they all have like a different color plate in the front. They say it says land camera. They're all automatics. You know, nothing terrible. I think it's a harmless, yeah, land cameras. Exactly, Stephen. That's what they say. So we'll throw that in the title for sure. They're standing in front of a carousel. Yeah, it does. Is that what a carousel? You think? It's kind of hard to tell. On the left side, it almost looks like a horse. Is that like a horse standing there? I don't know. You're right. It is a small photo, and this is as big as we can get it too. But yeah, carnival, fair. Allie chimes in with fair right at the same moment. Let me. We're gonna make clown the number one word, right? The first word in the listing. Let me get back out of this a minute. Hope everybody's okay. You okay? You need a moment, anybody? Want to cause any nightmares tonight? Let's pull up the original one. And let's get some words in here. Everybody, circus. Hey, Justin, how you doing? Welcome aboard. Allie said same thing. Is it a fair? Which I just said. Yes, everybody's alive. All right, good. Very good. Didn't want to cause any illnesses out there. But seriously, what do? We got to put clown, right? That goes without saying. Let's just throw some words in there and maybe we'll piece them together. We got the clown. We got the fairground, maybe. Do you want to put? We did say land camera, right? Land camera. Because we have cameras plural and camera singular, so that's not terrible. We still got 12 characters to play with. Right? Ooh, SX70 and Alpha SX price-wise, yeah. Well, it does say Alpha in bold. It must be the best, right? Beelzebub. Yeah. Could that actually be a very rare early? No, it couldn't be. I was going to say maybe that's Krylov in the early days. I don't know. He might have started off as a carnival clown. Circus is where we got to get in there, right? Even if it's not a circus, I think we just attribute clowns to circuses. Circi. I'm not sure what the plural of circuses is. Circus is. Anything else, anybody? Take a look at the title. Winter Crow, I'll read it for you. 67 Polaroid camera, vintage print ad, clown, fairground, land camera, and circus. Are there any other words? Any suggestions to take something out, replace something that might be more potent? Let me know. But that's where we stand right now. We still have space for like a 4-letter word. Like, do I dare put creepy clown in there? Is that too much? Is that over the top? Do we do what was suggested earlier? Put Stephen King in there? Remember, we'd always have this category. Not category. We always have this wonderful custom specific field. So if we can't fit it in the title, you could throw it down there. Little bonus words. Let me know what you guys think. Give it a look. Let me pull it down so everybody can see the title again. Does anyone use prop? The MCM, yeah. I was turned on to that recently. I never used it before. The mid-century thing. I know it's kind of in vogue. I guess it's a nice thing to throw in when you have something like this, where I only have a couple of characters left. I guess 67 really mid-century. On the tail end of it, if it is. What is prop? Just so I know. Does it mean anything else than a prop, like a circle, like a movie prop? I'm not familiar. If that's an acronym for something, I'm not familiar with it. So please let me know. What do you guys think about the title as it stands right now? Win a Crow? Win a Crow usually comes in with a last minute change. You use them whenever you can. Okay. Great point by Rutan right there. Is the average Joe going to put MCM in a title when they're looking for whatever? I think that's a good point. Insider jogging, right? Ephemera in the title? No, Jan, I don't. Big word, uses up a lot of characters. I'm not familiar with what that means. Vintage, antique, retro, etch. I use keywords in every listing. Yeah, well, you can see every one of mine says vintage print ad, and if an ad is over 100 years, I always put antique print ad. If you guys that are newer want to check out some of the older shows we've done, they're not that old, they're only a couple of months old, but we did go through a bunch of, what was it doing, like 1905, 1906 magazines. And then in that instance, I used the word antique because it's after 100 years, you could technically call it antique. So instead of vintage print ad, which is most of my listings in the print ads anyway, it's an antique print ad. Oh, maybe that explains. I haven't seen, I don't watch anything. It's a show or a movie? Does it have to do with a clown? What is prop? I gotta get up on this stuff. Next time I have a clown ad. Well, anyway, can anybody think of anything else really short, 4-letter word or so to throw in at the end? Or does anybody think maybe something can be replaced as it is now? Polaroid camera, clown fairground, land camera, and circus. Prop is a movie prop. Okay, that's what I thought. But why would a movie prop have anything to do with a camera ad with a clown in it? It's not a movie. I'm just asking for my own benefit. Right? Exactly. Yep. Yep, movie prop. But again, what does a movie prop have to do with my little Polaroid ad? Well, this should be fun. Having the clown in there. I didn't put creepy clown. Has anybody out there, sir? I think, didn't somebody mention earlier they looked up creepy clown? Maybe we'll put creepy clown as a custom specific. Oh, I got you, Jen. Okay. Saying it could be used as a prop. Sorry about that. Yeah. And I've sold ads as props. So I apologize. I just didn't get the correlation there. I thought you were saying specific to this ad. But yeah, you're right. Absolutely. They could use them as props. Yep. I'm going to put creepy clown, folks, in my little custom specific. Anybody else have any other wacky term I can use? We'll keep this at the $20 range too, by the way. We'll price it as if it was if it wasn't for the clown, it would be right at our base $15. We kick it up a couple of bucks for the creepy clown, who, truth be told, is not very creepy looking. Yep, I got camera and cameras in there, Jan. Polaroid cameras, and then I said land camera. So both are covered. I did put creepy clown in the form of a little custom specific down here. So I'm just curious if anybody else. Win a Crow, of all the times for Win a Crow to come to the forefront with her, digging all things macabre. I thought she would have some kind of cool term for me that I never heard of with clowns. Maybe she was so traumatized by the ad, she split. I don't know. But let me know, Winter Crow. Who makes Polaroid? I thought Polaroid was proprietary, but let's take a look. Good question. The history of the Polaroid company, huh? Polaroid history. It was founded by American scientist Edwin Land, and hence the Land camera, in 1937. That's it. It's just its own. Polaroid is Polaroid, Jen. No, Kodak is its own. Kodak is Kodak. Yeah, I stink at TV and stuff, guys. So if you guys reference any like new shows or anything, I won't know any of them. I don't watch anything. I do, Dawn. And the reason being was this term land camera. Yep. Oh, as the inventor, possibly. Land camera is on the cameras themselves. I know Steven had mentioned that they are known as land cameras. So it was something worthy of mentioning. And I have Polaroid cameras because the ad has 5 cameras, plural. So I figured I don't usually, you're absolutely right though, Jan. I never use the same word twice in a title because it's a colossal waste of characters, I think, of keywords. But for this one, I wanted to put in land camera for sure. List. You're from the land of Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, you should get it up. But just know that there's no advertising category for cameras, unfortunately. But actual cameras and film and all that kind of stuff. All right, yeah, let's list this guy. I will report back to everyone about the success or failure of our buddy the clown. And Dawn, now that you're here, I'm going to show you something really cool that I've been saving since Friday. Cool for you, cool for Canadians. Alrighty, so the clown is gone. The clown has left the building. Okay. Yeah, we will. I am curious. Like I said, I can't. It's hard to believe, right? With all the listings I've done with these things, I don't think I've ever had. I've had a Bozo. I take that back. I've definitely had Bozo the clown in something, and Clarabella from Howdy Doody. I've had like Howdy Doody ads with Clarabella the clown in there. Clarabelle. But that's about it. I haven't had a quote unquote creepy clown featured in an advertisement yet. But anyway, here we go. This is for Dawn. Dawn, you're not here, huh? This is a case, guys. Remember I told everybody with the white. I'm gonna dim this one just a bit. Give me a second because I want it to really show off well. It's a little bit too bright. The DPI and all that stuff was probably a little bit too high on the scanner for this paper. Give me 1 second. I'm going to dim it a little bit. And I'll show everybody. But anyway, it's from, are you anywhere near Montreal, Dawn? I never asked you. Let me know. Let me just dim this picture really quick. I don't like, when you need sunglasses to look at an eBay listing, it's probably a bit too bright. Okay. Okay. Cool this one down a little bit. It's still a little bright, but I guess it's a little bit better than it was. Boy, this is a tough one. Usually I could fix this really quickly, and this one is not behaving. All right, we'll just go with it. All right, let me bring it back up, everybody. Sorry about that delay. Try to make the pictures look as good as I can in general, you know? All right, Jan, thank you very much for showing up. We'll watch back later. Oh, okay, very cool. Absolutely. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Okay, Dawn and everybody else, you're an 8-hour drive, so that's nowhere near Montreal. I'm probably an 8-hour drive from Montreal. Expo 67, World's Fair in Montreal. Winnicrow, do you remember Expo 67? That looks really futuristic and cool, doesn't it? It was the World's Fair up there. So this is an advertisement for the Montreal 67, Expo 67. It actually has the dates at the bottom too. It says April 28th through October 27th. Your mom went there, yeah? That's cool, Dawn. Is she on? Where is she? She should be watching. Get her on. Give her a call. Say, Mom, Marty's got something that you would love. I thought it was really cool. You don't see too many of these. You were at Expo 67 in Montreal, really? That's cool. Yeah, that's what I've seen a lot of, Dawn, is the postcards. I haven't seen many advertisements like this for it, which is kind of cool. And this is a full page ad too. Almost looks like Star Trek. Don't they look very like futuristic? Like space. That's a really cool image. So I'm hoping the novelty of it will be appealing to people. And I have never listed this Expo 67. So let's see what the heck they suggest us to put this category in. All right. Remember what I just said earlier about don't put camera ads in a camera category, right? Now this one, if you look at this one, the second one, everybody, doesn't that look like a pretty phenomenal category? Historical memorabilia, fairs and parks, blah, 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 World's Fair 67 Montreal. I think I'm putting this in there. I think I'm throwing this right in the good old, why not? I guess it's historical memorabilia, right? It's an advertisement for an event that's now over 50 years ago. I think that's where this one is going to live. I thought I was going to struggle trying to find a category here, but I like this one. I don't think you could get any more specific than that. Now for my internal store category, my goodness, no idea. Let me look really quick what I have. Travel and leisure, sure. Dad was into road trip. That's a hike from Jersey, my God. All right, and you can see the good thing about this one is there's only a handful of specifics required. The year has not been modified, so we'll put no. It was manufactured in the United States in this magazine, and of course I screwed this up. United States, there we go. The theme is World's Fairs. World's Fair is 1967, Montreal. Bam. So it's simple as that. Oh, and no, it's not signed. All right. Yeah, there was a category right there. Fairs and expositions. Can you see this, guys? Here's the full category. I'll leave it up there. Rural Squirrel, what is shaking? How you doing? Welcome aboard. Rocking and rolling. We're finishing a magazine from Friday that I started on Friday from March of 67, and we are currently working with a World's Fair advertisement for Expo 67 in Montreal. Our resident Canadian expert, Dawn Wright, is providing insight per usual. Your listing tonight, very cool. When is your next whatnot? Let us know. I think the last video I saw, you mentioned something about getting another one ready. So let us know. I have a huge announcement about whatnot, everybody. Which I was going to mention early on, but we kind of got on a roll with the whole listings thing earlier on the show, but with the view count. So anyway, very cool. Does anybody know what this image is? Is this like is this something exclusive to this fair? You know how like in the 64, the New York's World's Fair, that you have like specific iconic pieces that were built specifically for the fair? I know usually they do that in every World's Fair. Does anybody know, Dawn or Winnicrow, since you were there? Do you remember? Like, what's the icon of this fair? And is this it? Is this kind of like space imagery thing? Is it called something? Is it? Help me out. Anybody have any recollections of it? Anybody have any experience selling stuff from this World's Fair specifically? Going to Montana, of course you are. Well, safe travels as always. Anybody know Frank Zappa? He has a very famous song called Going to Montana. I'm going to Montana. Maybe read the ad, give you an idea. Okay, I'll blow it up, Dawn. You guys can read it. Okay. But I was just curious if anybody knows just offhand, like if there's any famous structure or anything from the World's Fair, and if this is a picture of it or a, representation of it. But yeah, that's a good idea, Dawn. Let's blow it up and take a closer look. I just think it's a really cool, reminds me of Epcot very much for those of you who dig Disney stuff. It almost looks like Spaceship Earth in Epcot. All right, I will show everybody the larger view of this photo, hopefully. And there she is. There we go, guys. Can you read that? I'm sure Winnie Crow can't, and to be honest, I can't either. But, all kinds of groovy words here, but I don't know if anything says, like, what that is. It's kind of just, a promotion to draw people to the event, obviously. Steven. Canada celebrate 100 years. Very good. Thank you. Hendrix by accident. Oh, yeah. Where'd you see him? Monterey? You just happened to sneak into Monterey by accident? Yeah, as one does, right, Dawn? Are you reading, Dawn? Come on, everybody with you youngins with the good eyes, read. At the end, it looks like something about accommodations and trying to get a hotel room there. And oh, yes, he did. Yes, Hendrix absolutely opened up for the Monkees. Where'd you see him? Do you remember? Was it in Queens by any chance? Forest, what's the tennis courts? Didn't they play there? The theme was Man and His World. Beautiful. Man and Life. And do you guys think that this is a representation of it? This really wild-looking, spacey-looking image? It's kind of, if you look at the top right, like over the lady, it almost has like a lava lamp effect. And then it's like, maybe it is in space. To me, it looked like out of space. But now when you look at it a little bit closer, maybe it's not out of space. I saw the Monkees in '86 on the reunion tour, which wasn't that great, to be honest with you. But I was a fan growing up of this TV show. Forest Hills. Yeah, is that what you saw him, Winnie Crow? Exactly, Steven. So that's exactly what I thought. It looked like spacey, like Star Trek-esque, yeah. But now, if you look at it a little more closely, is that, like, I thought that, you see the thing to the left of the guy's head? I thought that was a spaceship. But now that I blow it up, does anybody know what the heck that is? Look, now it looks like a mask or something. Saturn. Yeah, I don't know if that's planets or just like wacky, like lava lamp kind of looking stuff. It's crazy. I love the image. I think it's awesome. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm almost tempted. I very rarely do. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, Man in Life. You've noticed, I'm sure a lot of you have noticed, that I only use one photo because it's really all you need for these ads. But something like this, where this image is so striking, at least to me, I might actually just crop and do an image of this by itself and then do the whole ad. And then everybody else can kind of figure out what the heck it is. Oh, that's cool, Laura. You got to meet him? I'm in the Beatle band. We play one of the promoters that book us is really good friends with, was friends with all of them. Sadly, they've all passed. You probably saw my video with Mickey Dolenz, my God, Michael Nesmith a few months ago when he passed. But I never got to meet them, unfortunately, but I could have, like on many occasions. All three of them that were remaining since Davey died, and including Davey, used to show up at conventions that a buddy of mine held every year. And sadly, I never got out there to see them. I kind of regret it now. But I could meet Mickey Dolenz. Maybe we'll have him on as a guest. Would anybody like to have Mickey Dolenz on as a guest? I could probably make that happen. I think it's a possibility. Let me know if there's any interest in that. I'm not even kidding. I probably could get him on. Possibly. That would be a pay-per-view event, though. Just kidding. Yeah, guys. So, very cool. We have the man. What is it? Man in Life. Let's definitely get that in. And let me stop sharing this. There we go. Hi, everybody. We'll go back to the main listing. Since Dawn and virtually everybody else in the chat looked it up for me, which I greatly appreciate, we'll put Man in Life. What do you guys think? Is that supposed to represent space? Outer space? The space age? Maybe I'll put space age. That's probably a cool word. It was certainly the space age, right? I'm sure a lot of guys remember that. Space age technology, space Tang, space age drink. Space age, one word or two? Yeah, DePage, that's what I just said. Space age, I think I might put in there. Oh, Dawn, look at you. That's the same ad? I'm gonna have to click on my other computer. Hang on. And not to criticize other sellers, but seriously, folks, first of all, 92% feedback. End of story. But look at that picture, like a crooked on the floor or on a table. You know what I mean? $10. Take it or leave it. It's just, you get what you pay for, everybody. I don't know if you guys are looking at that link that Dawn provided, but if you do, take a look at this listing. It's the same ad that we're putting up right now. And it's just a off-center, lousy phone picture on a table. And the person selling it has 92% feedback. So no good. Take a look. But much like I said about the clown, viewer discretion is advised. Far from it, right, Dawn? Far from it. The pavilion was actually left open till 84, named Man and His World. Okay, cool. Man in Life. So I'm going to put Man in His World because world, space. Again, I beg the question, does anybody know matter-of-factly that is an image of some sort of outer space, like Steven said, Star Trek-esque imagery? Jeff, maybe they'll get some action now that we're clicking on. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, let's see if his views go up. I zoom it up. Nest said walk in transparent brain at grainier scale. I'll wait for the rewrite on that one. Yeah, the table photos. I mean, again, it depends on the item, but something like this, I hope you guys see the benefit in doing a scan, right? It just presentation-wise, it looks so much better. And then you have the ability to blow it up like we've been doing. If you just take a lousy picture thrown, usually there's somebody's toes in the picture. That's a big faux pas. Don't put your toes in a picture when you throw something on the floor. Awful. It reeks of amateur seller. Right, Dawn? No, I'm only kidding. Winter Crow and I were joking about that. Thinking of Logan's Run. Yeah, it does kind of have that look. Man in His World. Okay, very good. You said it enough times. May have been used because Star Trek was the most future. Yeah, exactly. It's a very Trekky looking. Scan is awesome. Thank you, DePage. Yeah, try to, if at all possible, within reason. Toes sell. Do they? Okay. Maybe yours do, Dawn, but not the ones I see in these ads. Taking my ads down. I don't have a scanner, so I'm unclean. Not saying take them down, but I'm hoping that people out there that want to dabble in this see the benefit to taking a little extra time and doing a quality scan. There are, we've talked about this. I think we talked about it Friday. There's a couple of free apps available nowadays on iPhone for sure. Right in Notes, a notepad, whatever you call it, Notes. You can scan right with your phone, and it actually crops it to the dimensions of an actual scan. But you don't go a mile away and show the floor and have it crooked. You kind of have to focus over it. I'm not saying you have to buy a $400, $500 scanner all the time, but if you get into this at a deeper level and you have a lot of volume, it's definitely worth it. The quality is it's kind of unmatched. You can't get better than that. And you have that ability, like I just keep showing everybody every night, to zoom when you have the higher pixel count and all that. 3G flip phone, well, maybe not. All right. Yeah, I'm almost tempted to write Star Trek, but it has no bearing on this at all. Anything else of note, everybody, from the fair itself? Is it famous for something? Actually, in the line of the paragraph, it says "Man in Life." One of a series of theme exhibits. So I guess it's both of them. What do we have? Man and His World, and Man in Life is an exhibit, it looks like. So maybe the theme was Man and His World, right? And then Man in Life was just one of the exhibits. I'm not going to put Star Trek on. No, you're right. So it's kind of both. Man in His World, but this is actually, maybe this is the exhibit. Maybe this is a photo of that exhibit or an illustration of that exhibit. These glimpses of the mysterious worlds within us are just part of Man in Life, one of a series of themed exhibits. Together, they offer you a panorama of man and his world, such as you have never seen before. Is everybody confessing to throwing things on the floor and taking toe pictures? Because speak up now, folks. Admit your wrongdoings and correct them. On Facebook, you see that all the time. For those of you guys, I don't know if I never sell anything really on Facebook, but I will absolutely source on Facebook Marketplace. And my goodness, the nonsense you see on there. A sphere in them. It has the sphere, okay. Oh, the powder saying he crops his feet out. That's what you got to do. If they slip in there, crop. And Rural Squirrel. I was doing so well. Kristen, everybody. Welcome, Kristen. Kristen uses the crop feature as well. Good. Table pics. Nothing wrong with table pics. Not everything can be scanned. I'm just saying if something is scannable, like these ads, or postcards, certainly. I know there's a lot of postcard fans out there. Scan them. Makes a big difference for presentation. Yep, and those dates correspond perfectly to what's in the ad, Stephen. It says April through October. What a great Lake. First of all, Lake Erie, welcome aboard. What a great question. Whatever happened? Epcot. They built Epcot, which is a 365-day-a-year World's Fair, basically. It used to be. For those of you who, like me, who are Disney fans, they've changed Epcot so much. Yeah, see, here we go. I guess it depends on who's are in there, right? All right. The space thing. I'm trying to think what else could possibly. We still have 20 characters, everybody. We can't leave this hanging out with 20 characters. Find out what kind of stuff you're made of. That's actually kind of cool too, isn't it? As a like catchphrase. There you go, Winnie Crow. Exactly. Use the crop. We talked about this the other day, didn't we, everybody? About someone was asking about getting the paper cutter that I recommended, and I had suggested, go in and don't do that cropping physically until the item sells, because you're going to waste a lot of time doing all that and then scanning it. Just use the crop capability within your phone or whatever, or your whatever you use to list, or right on the computer like I do. You could crop your images too, and then save the actual physical cropping for once they sell. But yeah, so Winnie Crow uses the Dawn with feet running across, sure. And Krylov likes feet. I didn't know that. Really? See, I haven't seen. When's the last time anybody ever seen a World's Fair recently? Is it a reference to human anatomy? I'm not sure. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's space or if they're walking through like exactly. That's a great point, Justin. Are they walking through like a conceptualized version of the human, inside, like with nerves and blood flow? I don't know. Let's say, you know what? We're gonna have to bang it out again. Hold on. Pull it up again. Have I put in Expo 67 Montreal? Absolutely. That would be the title of the ad. Expo 67. You know what no. Oh, hold on. I did not put Montreal in a crow. What am I doing? Montreal. Thank you very much. See, here we are trying to get all elaborate with these fancy words. How about putting the most basic stuff in there? I got Man in His World in there. Yep. You think it's an abstract space human thing? Yeah, definitely. They were big in the famous 1939 World's Fair in New York, right before Hitler and the gang started. I might quit as well after what? After that? After that? You're shocked? Oh, you mean after forgetting Montreal? I know. Getting caught up in talking about scanning. I was just checking to see who was paying attention. Yeah, it's cool. I never realized that. I haven't seen a World's Fair in eons. What's some famous ones? St. Louis, 1903, 1904. Famous World's Fair. Meet Me in St. Louis. I know that movie. All right, what else, guys? We have 11 characters left. That's too many with a cool looking ad. And what a great point about it is it's supposed to represent some sort of like anatomical thing. The thing that really strikes me is, the 39 World's Fair. I said that one across. Hey, Popeye, what's going on? Popeye. I bet you bottom dollar, Popeye, have you ever sold Expo 67 World's Fair postcards or paraphernalia? And if you have, if you'd be kind enough to take a look at this image I have blown up, we've determined that the kind of like the catchphrase or whatever of this fair was man. What was it? Man in his life, man in his world, right? And then this exhibit that's being featured here is man in life. And we're trying to figure out if this is like some sort of symbolic like representation of like human anatomy inside. Is it outer space? It definitely has like a Star Trek look to it. 67 is too new. I agree. It's too new for my ads too. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of cool for advertisement. There's a lot of really cool car ads from this era. We listed some 67 Mustangs and things like that. But anyway, I'm just curious if you're familiar with, I figured that there might be some postcards that sell from this era, but I can't figure out what the heck this is. Next to the guy, he almost looks like Leonard Nimoy, doesn't he, guys? Looks like Mr. Spock in the middle. But to his right, the left side of what we're looking, what is that? It looks like a mask, right? H.H. Holmes serial killer. Oh, my God. Say it ain't so, Stephen. Yeah, you're getting rid of them, right? Thank you, by the way. Speaking of which, I got your the Disney cards a couple days ago. Thank you very much. Safe and sound. Go check out Popeye's auctions on Whatnot. Happy consumer, happy purchaser recently. The article says, find out what you're made of. So I'm thinking Fantastic Voyage. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could definitely be the innards, right? Like traveling through the circulatory system or something. You sold Expo cards at San Antonio. Okay. Hey, True Miscellany, welcome aboard. Something to do with humans having parts with us that are only found out in space? Maybe. Or some kind of crazy parallel between the inner and outer, the innards of the human being and space. Something like that. All right, no problem. I just figured I'd throw it out there. You came in at a really good time. We're struggling. I'm struggling. I just want to finish off the title, and I'm trying to, like I said, we're trying to figure out what exactly this is a representation of. It almost looks like a kind of like it's a hybrid between space and almost like a lava lamp effect in the top. It's got a little bit of everything. I was just curious if anybody knew specifically. We got a lot of really good words in there. Old astronaut helmet sideways? Ooh, maybe. Yeah, you're very welcome. Cool. Yeah, we'll check it out Thursday at noon. I will be hitting Whatnot with authority tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, but I was going to save that for the end of the show. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, first show. Going to give it a whirl. So please, if you haven't, if you don't have Whatnot, there's a link at the description section of my video today. I think they're giving away $10 if you sign up for Whatnot. It's kind of cool. You can come out and check Popeye's auction and check my auction tomorrow night and put your $10 to good use. Get a couple of things for $10 on Whatnot. But just click that link. And if you do belong to Whatnot already, if you'd please follow me, I'd really appreciate it. I promise I'll follow you right back. It's just Jiminy Flip It. The human cell to John. Yeah, exactly. Right. Existential kind of stuff, Dawn. That's what I'm saying. But how would you paraphrase that to fit into like 20 characters or less, you know? That's a good question. I don't know. It's definitely the height of Star Trek, and it has a Star Trek look to it, wouldn't you say, in general? Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Dawn. Uh-oh. Didn't Postcard Guy went Winnicrow? Wasn't he talking about that? I don't know if John went, but I thought Postcard Guy was talking about that. Well, sign up, Winnicrow. It's free. And you get $10 if you click on my link. Red being blood. No, I got it, Dawn. Absolutely. The whole representation. I kind of dig that conceptually. But how do you word it? Oh, you're afraid it might lead to a really bad habit. I get that. You could fill a house really quick with Whatnot stuff. Futuristic medical. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It has like a anatomical thing going on. It has the space thing going on. Steven, come on. We're waiting for your verdict here. Yes. The rocket, right? Yep. Didn't it go on fire or something, Steven? I seem to recall. The space shuttle exploded on my birthday. That's easy to remember. When I was 19, I think. 19 or 20. Yep. Transparent human brain. Ooh, look at Jeff. Jeff getting all psychedelic on us. Micro, macro, and yeah, good words. Good words. I'm not sure they apply, though. That's, I guess. Oh, there's a whole website? That's cool. Popeye's saying there's a website that talks about the movies that premiered there. So maybe, yeah, it almost, what a great point. It kind of looks almost like a movie poster, doesn't it? Let me blow this up again, everybody, because this is the smaller version. Let me pull this up because Popeye just joined. A couple other people just came in. See if you take it a look at it a little bit bigger. We'll make it like a full screen of just that image. Hang on one second. Okay, let's pull up the full screen. For those who may be just joining now. Oh, and you know what? We're still not, it isn't resolved, so we need to take a look. Here we go. Check it out, guys. Anybody who didn't see it initially. Theme of Mina's World was drawn from, oh, here we go. Antoine de blah, blah, blah. French. Dawn French. Can you translate for us? Mina's World, man in his health, man in his ocean. Gotcha. And this, the verbiage within this ad speaks to the exhibit called Man in Life. It says these glimpses are the mysterious worlds within us. So that leads to think it's biological, internal, right? As part of the Man of Life exhibit. So I think that is what this is. I think this is the Man in Life exhibit. Again, I'd love to know what the heck this thing is, everybody. Looks like a weird mask or something. I thought it was a spaceship when we first opened up the The ad. Oh, there we go. Doing right with the translation. Thank you. Like the circuit. Look at Rutan. Circulatory system. Right. Like you're traveling inside, right? All right. A word salad. Yeah, that's for sure. If you walk into a home. Yeah, exactly. So it's that whole thing. Like the mysteries of space, but this is the mysteries within to be explored and all that stuff. Man the Explorer, Man and His Planet. Yep, there we go. All right. Well, this one, the only one it speaks to is whatever I just read, Man and Life. The mysterious worlds within us. So I think we definitely have a consensus that this would be some sort of, like everybody's been saying, like traveling through the circulatory system, something along those lines. What do you think? Man and his veins. Well, like going through the heart or something, right? That's kind of what it looks like. And definitely drawing a parallel to space, like I think Dawn was saying earlier. Very cool. Whatever it is, it's kind of cool. Yeah. Take a trip. There we go. So look at CJ coming out of the woodwork. A trip inside a cell. Yeah, it's definitely a trip. Definitely trippy. Very, very trippy. All right, let's go back to the main listing and try to wrap this one up. How do we take everything that we've been talking about for the last half an hour, right? Dissecting this picture and paraphrase into a sentence. You too, Jeff. Have a great night. Thanks so much for coming in. Yep, 2 years before the moon landing. That I remember. I remember the moon landing. How do we paraphrase all that we've discussed into a word or two to fit within the title of this this ad? And let me just tell you, after all the time, we better sell this thing, and we better sell it for good money too. John, if you're still there, do World's Fair cards sell well, older ones, or are they a dime a dozen and they're just too popular and everybody has them? Just curious. Surreal's a good word. We have to somehow state that it's life science is good too, Justin. Yeah. But like some sort of internal, not reflecting, but like, to me, it looks like an obvious parallel between the inner universe versus the outer universe or something along those lines, right? Traveling. What was the movie that somebody just referenced? Isn't there a movie or two based on that where you get shrunk to like a microbe size and you travel through the body? There was a movie about that. Oy vey. Is the film's Miracles? Oh, is that what this is? Or you're guessing? Is it the film's Miracles in Modern Medicine? I'm not sure. But we've definitely, when I first pulled up this ad, I think we all thought it was outer space. Fantastic Voyage. Thank you, Winnie Crow. Doesn't it have that kind of a feel? Magic School Bus. No, Fantastic Voyage, yeah. Inner Space. Great wording, Lake Erie. Inner Space. But I got Space Age. So you know what? Never mind Space Age, because it's not Space Age, we've determined. Inner Space. Give me one word now, guys. We have 8 characters. One awesome word. Inner Space. Journey is kind of cool. I like life science too. How about just science? Hold on, we got a little tidbit from Mr. Popeye. 1993 Columbia Expo had the first real postcards, but they were actual postal cards. Also, 1904 had a nice hold to light postcards. Cool. So there's definitely a connection with, but I guess as they become like later on, they're just too common, I would think, right? Like I've sold, again with the ads thing, a Life magazine had like a whole 6 or 7 page color insert from 1939 talking about the World's Fair. And that sold really well. And that was beautiful. That was actually very interesting. It had all the different exhibits and people. It looked incredibly modern for 1939. It really did. But I just had a feeling that it was like too common. Certain events that we think are going to be, it's the moon landing. Well, everybody saw the moon landing and everybody bought the newspaper. And it's not rare. I think it's scarcity that matters, not the event necessarily. That would be a good fit, Dawn, right? You kind of summed it all up, right? We said trippy. In a space. Oh, okay. John Ritter and the. Ooh. You guys remember Dr. Shrinkster was like a Sid and Marty Krofft thing, I think, on Saturday mornings? Dr. Shrinkster. The movie Miracles isn't just sensational, it's surreal. Somebody used copy and paste. Very cool. Private mailing cards, 1901 to 1907. Stephen, if you haven't met Popeye yet or know about Popeye, definitely a postcard guru. So if you dig postcards, want to have a good conversation, definitely check out Popeye on YouTube and on, of course, Whatnot. But yeah, guys, I guess that's pretty good, right? That's, if I put science, that takes us right to 0. Yes, Root, and you remember that? Billy Barty. Of course, Billy Barty was in that. What wasn't he in, right? Billy Barty was, wasn't he Sigmund from Sigmund and the Sea Monster? I think he was in that suit too. Anything that required somebody small, Billy Barty was in it. All right, I am going to list this one. We spent a lot of time, but I think it was time well spent because I did not know. I guess a lot of us didn't realize what exactly we were looking at, but I think it's kind of unique. I haven't come across any ads for this yet, so this is my first time. But as John said, it's true. As everybody who follows me knows, most of my ads are from, the turn of the century, 1890s till the 40s, maybe the 50s. So to go all the way to 67 is pretty new. Yes, he did play Sigmund. I knew it. Great show, too. All right, we are going to list this one. I don't know why this keeps unchecking, but let's fix that. Bam. Yeah, John, if you haven't met him, meet Steven. Very bright gentleman. Comes through with a lot of great information on my shows, that's for sure. And I wouldn't be surprised if he likes postcards. All right, let's see what's left. Hard to believe. I thought we would blaze through these, but I like when there's interest in some of these things where it isn't like the earlier ad we had with the Chrysler, where it was just like, okay, there's a Chrysler. There's nothing to talk about. We had a wacky clown to talk about. Now we had a very interesting conversation about this whole inner space thing. What a great term, by the way, inner space. I like that. So Polaroid is done. I forgot to delete that. And our inner space is done. And now for something completely different, Winnie Crow. The rest are kind of mundane, relatively speaking. All right, let's see how exciting this one is. Hoover isn't just for vacuum cleaners anymore, ladies and gentlemen. We have the Hoover drying washer, spin drying washer. I guess it's a combo, washer and dryer combo. As boring as this looks, appliance ads sell very well. Westinghouse, Hoover was primarily known, of course, for vacuum cleaners, but it looks like they dabbled in other arenas here. We have the washer and dryer. Let me pull it up. I'm back. Nope, I am back. Okay, hold on. Winter Crow, first trip to the UK, took a photo of a sign in a vacuum shop window. Nothing sucks like an Electrolux. That's kind of funny. Yeah, again, especially coming off the last two ads we've discussed. This one isn't exactly, the most appealing looking one, but sometimes it's not all about the visual. Sometimes it's just the product itself. We've talked about that before, right? Like sometimes it's the advertisement for the product itself that sells it. Sometimes it's something like a clown being pictured within or a dog being pictured within. This would be the exact opposite, where there's nothing flashy or exciting. However, people collect washer dryer appliance ads. So as boring as it looks, it will still sell. And it's kind of cool that it's a Hoover and it's a washer dryer. Oh, okay. Is that right? Yeah, it reads weirdly, doesn't it? The Hoover spin drying washer. Spin drying washer. Look it up, Dawn. I'm sure there's something out there about this model. But anyway, let's start building it up. This should be pretty quick and easy. I think we'll need a half an hour on this one, but Hoover, except, how do I describe it? Spin drying washer. Spin drying washer. There is an appliance category, which should pop right up, I hope. Yep, there it is. Household appliances. And we'll put this in my internal store category as household items. This is a boring black and white ad. Yes, mother could always use a new washing machine. That's true. I'll never take a bath, though. Perish the thought about taking a bath. Hoover. But she will wash those clothes, boy. 7. Theme is appliances. Boy, you get up to get a bottle of water and everybody jumps off of the stream. My goodness. Next time I'll announce it. Sorry about that. I thought I could get away with running upstairs for 30 seconds. Okay. We have only a handful of specifics. They are filled out. Here's the first one of the night, but we're going back to basics with the pricing on that one. Just base price. And sure enough, as Winter Crow alluded to, there's Mom. You can barely see her down there in the corner. There she is doing her laundry. Because it is indeed women's work, let's be honest. You have a whole video of it? That's hysterical. The little woman wants for Mother's Day. Doesn't waste time, doesn't waste water, doesn't waste soap, and doesn't waste space. Kind of a effective ad, though, if you think about it. All right, I will. Well, I've only choked once on camera, right? But I let everybody know when I was choking and said, I'll be right back. I'm choking. But I think that was the first time I've ever... What's my pricing structure? Well, Popeye, I actually have a whole video devoted to that. But long story short is, and this is a fluid thing. It's not like written in stone. It's my current pricing structure, which has been in play probably for a year or two at this point. But basically, a run-of-the-mill ad, which is what I would describe this as, right? Nothing flashy, no incredibly rare product, right? Washer and dryer. Base price is always, for me, $14.99, $15, $14.99. You're going to kick it up a notch automatically. If it's a car ad, it goes to $19.99. If it's one page, there are a whole bunch of magazine ads that are fold-outs, like a centerfold or a two-page ad. In that instance, I will absolutely increase the price, but I won't double it. So you have that perceived value, as everybody speaks to, right? Instead of making it $30 for a two-page, I'll make it like $19.99. And in essence, I'm sure you know this with postcards, it mails for virtually exactly the same cost. It's a sheet of paper. I could fit, I've done this once or twice, 20 ads I can fit in one of my, which is another video if you want to check out the series. But in the mailer that I use, the no-bend mailers for the print ads, I can fit up to 20 of them in their bag in there and still be under £1. So it's a joke. Like, so when people pay $20 or $24.99 for 2 sheets, they think they're getting a great value. It costs me absolutely nothing more to mail them. But that's, I mean, generally $14.99 is my base. It goes up from there. It depends on a series of factors. Car ads always go up a little more. If it has something really dynamic or interesting, like I don't know if you saw the creepy clown ad we put up a little while ago. If you didn't, you could check it out, rewind it. That went up a little bit. Any 2 pages go up. A 2-page car ad, which there are a lot of, like a Cadillac, and it's a big fold out. That could be some good money. As far as like industries or products that I always raise price, Campbell's Soup. That's a print ad bolo. Campbell's Soup, which there are millions and millions of ads for some silly reason, people like Campbell's Soup ads. So that's a major bolo. They'll be $19.99 right out of the gate, regardless. Age plays a role sometimes, but not always. The really old, like at least what I define as really old so far, 1890s, I think, are my oldest batch of advertisements. Certainly through like the turn of the century up to 1910 or so. The novelty of some of those items that don't exist anymore, right, or aren't used, I put a premium on then. But anyway, if you take a look at the video, I kind of gave you a summary of what's in the video, but there's no real steadfast rule other than I won't go below $14.99. I'll tell you that. And we've even sold a couple of ads that are literally like a square inch or a 2-inch square. Especially in those really older turn of the century magazines, you'll find those a lot in the back, just a coupled with a whole bunch of wacky ads. I'm sure you know the term quack medicine. You see a lot of quack medicine ads. They sell great, and they get priced just as if it was a 15 by 11 sheet of paper. So I hope that helps a little bit. But yeah, check out the video if you have a minute. And again, it's something I always revisit. Markets do change, as we all know, and sometimes you have to make some tweaks, but that's basically what I use for the last year or two. It's been my kind of standard pricing policy. Well, we do have mother down here, right? Do we want to put in housewife? May I be so bold? That's actually a good word to use. Housewife. Dawn, I think you're right. Did you watch the video, Dawn? That you linked? I haven't checked it out because I'm doing the show, but I was going to check it out. Use twin tub in your keywords, says Dawn. Is that right? How do you know if your doctor is a quack? Well, law of averages says a lot of them will be. Send you a big bill. Oh, Lake Erie with the father. What is it called? Daddy jokes, they call them, or something? Father jokes. It's good stuff. You missed the clown, huh? Yeah, you always got a clown sell. Oh yeah, dental journals. That's kind of cool. Talk about, I wonder if there's some quack medicine stuff going on in them from 1916, 1920s. Dad jokes. There you go. Dad humor. Okay. If he looks like a duck, yeah. Stephen with the rational answer. Yeah, Papa, I mean, if you have, I know you have postcards, obviously, first and foremost, and you have millions of them, so you really don't need to dabble in many other fields, but this is a good one, And there are some parallels involved, which I've discussed before. There are kind of some parallels between the two. Good stuff, though, and you learn a lot from looking at them. They sell really well. They're easy to ship. They're a piece of paper. Hypnosis, cool. I bet you that would sell. Twin tub. Okay, thank you very much, Dawn. Let's put in, without hesitation, twin tub. I'm going to be sexist and write housewife. For some reason that's frowned upon now. I don't know why. Right, Winnicrow? Housewife. Anything else anybody sees that's really cool? We could write like, I don't know, saves time, saves water, saves soap. I don't know. Time saver, I'm going to put. Yeah, I bet you the hypnosis thing would be intriguing to some people. All right, so that's a kind of what Popeye was asking, pricing structure. This would be the base model price. An ad like this is just, there's nothing extreme about it. There's nothing, it's relatively new in the world of print ads. It's really not that old. It's nothing, it's not like an ancient technology that's no longer used. It's not anything, there's no famous people on it. There's no, I'm sorry, just trying to, there's nothing spectacular. Let's just be honest. It's a very bland, basic ad. But again, people do sell appliance stuff. Excuse me, buy appliance stuff. So let me list this, and we'll move on, see what's left. I think I only have a couple left from that magazine anyway. And unfortunately, we don't have anything as exciting as the Clown or the 67 Expo left. 25 views. What a crow. Why don't you tell everybody about that free bit of advice you received? Space saving is actually very good, Dawn. I bought out a college dental museum. Oh, wow. Holy cow. I'll check it out. That's awesome. College dental museum. Wow. And it is all books and stuff. You didn't buy any like old tools or anything, did you? Or, dental implements of any kind? That's wild, though. But talk about them. There must be a lot of work involved trying to get those things. That's a great idea for Whatnot, right? Just throw them in a pile. Dental books. That is fantastic. And I knew you would love that one, a crow. Yeah, that one's gone. Oh, yeah, she probably would. All right, let me see what's left here. What time are we looking at? 20 to 9 already, everybody. Almost 3 hours again. And it really does go by fast. Let me just, did I hit enter on this last one? Yes, I did. Okay. Let me see what we got. Yeah, nothing very exciting left, everybody. Oh, look at Lori chiming in. Big Aaron Gray fan, too? Oh, Winnie Crow, you actually told the story. Hang on, let me pull this up. This was kind of cool. No tools, just books. Okay. There you go. Just off the cuff or on print or just contact Popeye. No, whatnot. We could do that here, right? We're on YouTube. Did you even go through this stuff, John? Or did you just kind of throw it in the garage like you usually do when you first get a big stash like that, right? It's got to be a lot of work trying to sort through that stuff. Yeah, Winnie Crow had it's not a lame ad. Yes. I noticed it was Aaron Gray before she was famous. There you go. Garage, office, and basement. That's what I figured. Absolutely, Popeye. Yeah. Remember her? I had noticed when a crow just sent me a picture of an ad. She had no views on it. And it was, what was it? Breck or something you said? Like a shampoo ad from 75, 76. I said, oh, look, that's Aaron Gray. And she said, who? Aaron Gray. Oh, is it really? So she put Aaron Gray in the title, and now she's got whatever amount of views says she has now, which is kind of cool. 100, no, not 140, I wish. Yep. And Battlestar Galactica, yeah. Yeah, Winnie Crow definitely digs old stuff, Popeye. So if you have any, I don't know how old that stuff is, but you might have a buyer here or two. Lori Gonzalez, the big Aaron Gray fan. 1,700. Holy cow. Wow. I didn't realize they were that old. There you go. Paid for an in-ground pool. Isn't it great to equate this stuff to actual tangible things like that? That's awesome. Or like you had talked about your trip to Hawaii, right? That eBay paid for that, or postcard sales paid for my trip to Hawaii. It's a great, great thing to mention instead of just saying I made X amount of dollars, just to attribute it to something like that and say, I bought a car with that money, I went to Hawaii, or I put a pool in. That's really cool. That's right. Yeah, I saw those eyes. Like that would be Aaron Gray. She's got Betty Davis eyes. You're going to start listing lives? That's okay. That's awesome. Oh, okay. Cool. Holy cow! Look at that, Winter Crow. Look at Royal Squirrel coming back. Hold on. ×5. Yeah, I'm sure. Whoa, Jesse James, the year he died. Winter Crow? Winter Crow? Kristen, listed 1932 hardware store catalog. Can't quit looking at it. So many cool things for sale, and they're wondering how I should sold it a page at a time now after watching it. Yeah, that's what I do, Kristen. That's what I do. I people talk about parting out things. It's the equivalent of parting out a magazine or a book or a brochure. You can get so much more money. Nothing wrong with unloading stuff either. And that's where I'll buy it from you. But yeah, those things, if you have the time and the desire to go through some of the stuff, you can make, just out of curiosity, like think about it. If you're saying this 1932 hardware store catalog, how much do you have it listed for? If you don't mind asking, telling everybody, like even if you have $20, $30, $50, you could sell 2 or 3 ads from it and make that much or more, So that one magazine, I always talk about this. Here's some numbers for numbers people. If you take a run-of-the-mill Life magazine from the 40s, right, which I have tons and tons of, and in that one magazine of Life from April 1943, and it has General MacArthur on the cover. I'm making this up, but let's just say that's an example, right? And you look it up on eBay, and you look it up on any site you want, and you say, some of those sell for $8 or $10 or $12. Wow. It's an old magazine. I'll get rid of it for $12. I only paid $1 for it. Well, within that one magazine, I guarantee you could find 25 ads easily. That's conservative. Easily 25 ads. And if you use my pricing structure and you get at least 10, $15 per, just do the math. That's in one magazine, or you could sell the magazine for $12 and be happy with it. And you made 12 times your money if you only paid $1, or you can make, thousands of times your money. So that's what I do. I part these things out. That's a great, I just came up with that, but it is in essence the same thing. You're parting out a magazine or a book or a brochure and making, hundreds fold return. When a crow doesn't do tax write-offs. Yeah, Dawn, post this video. No, it wouldn't hurt. Did you see my videos, Kristen? We're going to all plug our videos tonight. You could plug yours too, but watch my video on how to disassemble a magazine. It's child's play. Oh, you're maxed out on your Jesse James stuff? David Carradine. Ugh. Would that be the one, John? You can't send a link? Hold on. Send it to me on Instagram, Kristen. A message, and I'll paste it in here for you. Artie Mike, Guten Tag. What's shaking? Long Riders. Wow, we got multiple conversations going on in here. Oh, you're saying, hold on. Here I am ripping on Kristen thinking she's talking about the complexity involved. She's talking about the emotional. I get that totally, but with the things I bought with these magazines, I don't get emotionally attached to them. I totally understand that, though. I could see how perhaps somebody would say, this thing has survived for X amount of years, and who am I to shred it up? But you bought it for dirt cheap, probably. It was probably going to be thrown out anyway. And unless you're into the preservation aspect, there you go. Oh, this is, I just got your message, Kristen. This is the actual item. Cool. $65. Do you want me to post it for everybody? Be happy to. All right, hold on. I see Audie's got a math question for me, so hang on. This is Kristen Royal Squirrel's listing for the book she was just talking about from 1932. So take a look, if you so choose. And Kristen, I'm going to keep pushing you. Let us know when you're doing your next whatnot. John's on Thursday at noon, you said, right? The daytime one, the afternoon one. I'll be sure to watch that one. All right. I'm going to refer your name to a friend who has a huge collection of dead things, dental, medical, funeral. That's cool. That's okay. It's still kind of cool. Preserving one page to hang on someone's wall. Love that, Rutan. Exactly. And it will be cherished. So one page, they're typically framed. That goes without saying. Almost everybody here. And tomorrow at 8. Okay, cool. So check out. And that's what you do every week, Tuesday at 8 and Thursday at noon. And don't you do like a Saturday too, I think? You can post your schedule. Thank you, Dawn. Right? Yeah, there's the playlist for the series I did on Pranaz. Thank you very much, Dawn. Anybody wants to check that out if they haven't, feel free to ask any questions right there, or you can send me an email at jiminyflip@gmail.com, or you can just comment in the videos. If anybody wants another part of that series, I did a bonus part because I had a couple of questions about that specific topic. If anybody could think of any other topics, I'd be happy to do another video. Cool. 3 times a week. Beautiful. Consistency, right? Next move is you're going to have a house built in Hawaii with all this money from these shows. Hope that happens. It's got pedal cars, erector sets. Oh, that is kind of cool. But Krista, did you see what who wrote this? I'm going to pull this up again. That was really well said. Hold on. I want to give credit where it's due. I forgot who wrote it, but it was a great sentiment. It was basically saying if somebody's going to cherish this item and frame it and put it on their wall, individual pages, isn't that better than just hanging on to a magazine? I apologize. Who said that? Rutan? Did Rutan say that? Rutan for Relics, I believe, said that. Car for the kid and then college. There you go. I love this philosophy, everybody. Do you guys all do the same thing? Do you imagine that your sales are going to result in something like Popeye's saying, like, what a great way to look at it. Like, if I sell X amount of product, I can buy a car. I can pay off a car. I can pay off my house. I can pay off a credit card. I can buy a pool for my house. I could buy a lawnmower. I could buy a really nice scanner and get better pictures on my items. I could buy, it's a great way to look at it instead of just the numbers of the money. I love that. Money is just, it's conceptual anyway, right? What is money really? It's nothing. It's what we perceive it to be, value. It's all value is. It's really no such thing as value. Value is a man-made thing. So is money. However, when you take that money and you can attribute it to something tangible like that and say, I'm going to buy myself a car with this. I'm going to pay something off. I'm going to buy, or Steven said, buy more inventory. Exactly. Or I could buy my wife a horse. Welcome, my beloved. But it's really true. Instead of just thinking about the dollars and cents involved, I love the idea of having a vision of something, and maybe even doing something as corny as taking a picture of what you want and putting it on the wall in front of you, or on a, on your screen, or on a book or something, and say, if I can get this amount of money, bam, I can get this, or I can help somebody with it. Beautiful way to look at it. It's not just about the money. It's what you could do with the money. Yep. Dawn likes the ponies too. Dawn, do you ride? Seriously, I forgot. I think we did talk about horses, but I don't remember if you ride. Yeah, my poor wife loves the ponies, loves the horses, but unfortunately was literally catapulted through the air back in October and still has not recovered from it. So after all those years of riding, at the end of the day, they're still a wild animal. And what do you say, honey? They have with their own will. And if you say nay or whatever and they don't want to move, the thing's got about a 1,500-pound advantage on most people, you're going to lose. So indeed, Winter Crow, yes, I know. Which, not to get on a soapbox in any way, shape, or form, but this is why you don't want to be indebted to anyone for anything, if at all possible. And if you are, you want to get out as soon as possible. And what better way than selling our tchotchkes here on eBay? John, has often said, Popeye, right? He's like, for selling these stupid pieces of paper, which is really cool to think about. He's like, I made $300 yesterday on eBay by selling these stupid pieces of paper. Ain't that the truth? I mean, that really is what it comes down. Same with me. Selling these stupid pieces of an old magazine that somebody should have thrown out 100 years ago. But people like 7-Up ads and people like old car ads, and they buy them, and it's true. They frame them and they look really nice, and they kind of live a second life, and you reap the benefit of it, the monetary benefit of it. Hold on. You used to ride, took a fall. Oh, see, my goodness. Yeah, I know. That's not a joke. Obviously, we've all heard horror stories. People get, you could be paralyzed. Obviously, Christopher Reeve comes to mind. You got thrown. Oh, yeah, that's when a crow in Carrie's barn and my wife's barn. They have a big sign as soon as you set foot in the barn, and it basically says, "You assume." What does it say, honey? You assume all risks involved in equine activity. And basically, it's like a sign off. If you set foot into this barn, you might get trampled. You might get thrown 100 feet in the air. You might be paralyzed. You might die. And they cover themselves with that little caveat because they are 2,000-pound animals with their own will. All right, Lori, heading off to the post office. You must be somewhere very far west of me. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll still be on. Thanks so much for coming in. Yeah, you were only 18 too, Dawn. So how long could you have ridden anyway, right? Yeah, and it's not a cheap habit, that's for sure. Yes, my baby got hurt very bad. Yeah, she was catapulted on a crow. Can I ask a secondary question to everybody out there that might have an Instagram? Because I'm still I only signed up for Instagram for the reselling thing. I don't know, a year ago, maybe even less. And I use it. It's a tool. I accept the fact it's a modern tool and it has a merit, right? Do you guys get bombarded with, whenever you do a post, with like these quote unquote marketing experts constantly? The second you send something, you get like 50 likes, and so wants to, usually from India, they want to reach out to you and help you with your business. I always wind up deleting them, but I'm wondering, do you guys all get that too? It's so annoying. I have like 5 of them right now. I didn't know that was a thing. Clearly, it's not really a message. It's just like a automated, stupid bot thing, I guess, right? God, it kills me. Yeah, exactly, Dawn. Hey, give me a call. Hey, write me. Hey, like a millisecond after you post something. Hey, I checked out your video. I can help. I could point out all your flaws and make them better. Roll squirrel. Mark it down. Still got 20 days to prepare, so congratulations, Kristen. I am going again for everybody. I was going to do a post, but I'll probably do a post on the dreaded Instagram, and I'll probably do a video tomorrow. But tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No, Eastern Daylight Time, is it? Eastern Daylight Time. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Whatnot auction number 1. Possibly the only one I ever do. I might last 10 minutes and say, forget this, or I might be on all night. We'll see how it goes. But if anybody is interested, please show up 7 o'clock tomorrow night. I'll be doing my first Whatnot. Various items. Obviously, there'll be some ads, magazines, stuff of that ilk. Might have some records in there too. And again, depending on how it goes, we might introduce some other items. But I just want to kind of take a look at this thing. I was approved really quickly, which was kind of cool. I think it was lucky, but I was approved in like 3 days. I went through their little orientation. I'm all set. I did a little test thing that they give you the access to do, and it seems pretty simple, quote unquote, technically anyway. But I know there's a lot of things. We all watched Kristen last week, which was I guess it's about a week and a half ago now, with her first show. And I know she was juggling quite a few things all at once, and she did a phenomenal job. All while while you're narrating and trying to be, trying to sell, obviously, and trying to listen to all the people's questions in the chat. It's definitely not an easy thing. I think technologically speaking, it's really simple. You set your phone up and throw it on a tripod and show you stuff. But there's a lot of different elements in play that you kind of have to juggle. Angie, how you doing, Angie? Welcome aboard. Sarah, that happens to Twitter at me. Yeah, I can't stand that. I didn't realize that was an issue, but now I'm seeing every time I post something, I get like 100 of those stupid things. Very annoying. Uh-oh. Oof. Hold on. Jeff with a disease. Just bought 2,000 postcards and 80 1980 Sports Illustrated. Wow. On what? On an online auction, Jeff? I watched it today, Kristen, actually. Yes, about the 30-cent PayPal transaction per, right? John, are you still there? He's a selling machine, Popeye's postcards, obviously, on Whatnot, doing great. And I'm sure he's all too aware, but that does seem outrageous. You get charged 30 cents per item sold, basically, right? On PayPal transaction fees, which can really add up. So it pays to sell bulk items, not individual items. I guess that's the gist. But yeah, I did see that video. My auction? Oh, you're talking about mine is tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Gonna dive in head first. Hold on. If you put eBay or Etsy in your post, you'll get the comments from them telling you, oh, yeah, exactly. Come on. Hey, Angie, welcome. I just watched Angie Resells has a great channel. I was a guest of hers and Bobby a couple of months ago, I guess now, right, Angie? Had a great time with them. Angie just did a really impressive what sold video. She sells everything under the sun. Go check Angie out. You won't be disappointed. She sells everything. No, I was amazed, actually. I really think it was very fluid. Think about how many things are in play. You have to be entertaining, right? You have to be able to draw a crowd. You have to be able to retain a crowd. Not easy to do. Sometimes you could throw all kinds of fancy Instagram things and bells and whistles and come and people show up, but then you got to deliver. And I think you did that really well. You conducted the thing professionally. You sounded great. Really phenomenal job. So we all watched together on my chat show. I guess, what was it? It was a week and a half ago, right, Kristen? I guess the Friday before last, I think you were on. We were in the middle of a show and we all checked out Kristen's. We actually streamed Kristen's first Whatnot show, and it was really, I hope you did well financially as well. But even if you didn't do great, it's a great first experience. That's all I'm looking for tomorrow. I want to make it as flawless as possible. I want to see if there's a market for the stuff I'm interested in selling, and we'll kind of take it from there. There's no pressure. There's no fee. Just go in there and see what happens. I will also try to be very professional and organized. I think you need a lot of organization to do that successfully too. Yep, tomorrow at 7. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks. No dial Facebook. Yay. Yes, Popeye. I'm sorry. What about the 30 cents nonsense, right? That really does add up, which is why you do lots, I guess, right? I think that's why everybody does lots, unless you have some fantastic item, obviously. No Facebook. Sarah, do you know Angie? Yeah, I'd like to get Popeye's. Yeah, Popeye could write a whole essay on this stuff. And my wife's still talking about the horse. So we're all over the board, folks. Just stick with it. We'll get through this. Yeah, my baby was hurt very bad. You're welcome, Angie. You do sell everything, which is you're never going to be, it's great because you're not pigeonholed into one category. And if the category tanks, you tank, right? You're all over the place. You'll sell anything. What was your philosophy, Angie? You said if it's cheap and it sells, you'll buy it, right? It's kind of good. Thank you, Dawn, very much. Yes. 27th? I thought you said 26th. 27th is your show, Kristen? Yes. Definitely postcards would be great. We don't have enough, unlike some people in the chat here that have millions of them. We don't have enough really to warrant a big old stack of postcards. But yeah, things like that I think do really well. We're going to sell whatever we wind up selling tomorrow, honey, is going to be lots, like groups of items, not one-offs. Kind of, unless, again, it depends. Like everything else, it depends. If we have a really cool item that we think we can get $500 for, it doesn't need to be lotted up with other items. But if you're selling postcards or relatively inexpensive individual items, you bulk them up, and then you're not charged a per item fee. It's fairly complicated, but it's a very successful, relatively new platform that's exploding recently, and we're very lucky to be part of it, kind of as it's still developing. I know there's a lot of enhancements coming up down the pike too, so it's exciting to be. Again, it might be one and done. I might do it tomorrow and say forget this and leave, or I might be really into it. We'll see. I'm gonna give it my all. Old letterheads, yeah. Whatnot fees are about 13. Did you see Rachel? I'm sorry, what's her last name? Rachel. She's really cool. I can't think of her last name. I apologize. Angie, help me. Rachel did a video earlier today breaking down the fees and basically pointing out the fact that I think a lot of people don't realize that the PayPal component, that 30% transaction per transaction. So if you were to sell, what did she break it down? If you had $100 day and sold 50 items, you'd pay X amount. If you sold 20 items of the same thing, you still make 100, but you pay less fees, something like that. Strickland. Thank you, Steven. Sorry about that. Rachel Strickland. She did a nice little break. It's nothing to really deter anybody. I don't think. You just have to be aware of the fees. They got the 8% commission, as they call it. PayPal is standard. That's what we owe, before managed payments on eBay, we all did. Most of us did PayPal, right? And it was the same thing. The 2.9% plus 30 cents per. I said 30%. I apologize. 30 cents per transaction, and then 2.9. It adds up. Like John said, it comes to 13% basically. If you allow for that, 13, 15%. But when you're selling like John's selling, or a lot of other people are selling out there, you'll gladly give up that 13. You're turning around, you're getting rid of. In John's case, he's probably clearing out room in his living room, in his basement, in his garage, and just making instant cash. You don't have to go through the bother of letting it sit on eBay for God knows how long. It's just instant. Here we go. Here's some scary numbers from John. Thank you for the honesty, by the way. Yeah, check that out. That's a good video she just put up this morning, I think it was. I saw the premiere of it this morning. $6.50 an hour. There you go. For selling stupid pieces of paper, as you say, right, John? $6.50 an hour, folks. There you go. Any other questions? Not everybody's going to have that level of success, but just knowing that that's a possibility should be really motivating. Right, Kristen? Dawn bit her Canadian tongue for the benefit of our group, but that's okay. Stupid piece. I love it. That's what he says. Stupid pieces of paper. We're not selling the cure to cancer. We're selling, absolutely, Kristen. See, it's got to be done. And for very little John, I've watched your shows. Your technology is what? A phone, a tripod of some kind, right? Some music in the background, charming demeanor and personality, and good products. It doesn't take a lot to set up. Oh, you know what I wanted to ask all you guys that do, especially John, because you're doing so successfully, is the phone. I see everybody only has that. Is it vertical viewpoint? You can't do a landscape show. You'd be able to see so much if you could do it landscape. I don't know if they have a limitation on whatnot. I see everybody's shows are like the vertical view on the camera. I wish you could do a landscape. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, honey. Be there. Maybe Mrs. Flippett will be handing me some items, actually. She might be partaking in this. The right button, Subwell, military brass. Absolutely, Stephen. Do you watch Auction Professor, Stephen? He's a huge military buttons guy. Has an immense collection of them and sells them every day. Well, small price to pay, though, right? For $6.50 an hour? Nobody will come and pick that up for you, I guess, huh? Oh, yeah? That's cool. That's another thing that's really interesting. How do you judge success or failure on whatnot on your first show? I guess failure would be if nobody buys anything. That would be, I would write that off as a failure. If you're on for like an hour even, and I know people, John probably goes on for several hours, but if you're only on, let's say you just put for yourself, right? For your first show, I want to do as many as I can in an hour and then see what happens. If you sell nothing in an hour, might be time to pack it up. But if you sell a few of them, When you get one or two bidders, hey, at least it shows potential for it. That's all I'm looking for. Is again, I want some interest, hopefully, in the items I'm putting up. I know, again, John has a True Blue product and a postcard. A lot of postcard collectors out there. The ads thing for me, I'm excited because it's kind of I don't know if anybody is selling ads on there. That's good and bad. It's good because I shouldn't have much competition. It might be bad because nobody cares or wants them, but we'll see. Sometimes you don't know what you want until you see it. Yeah, right, Dawn? You've seen only the vertical ones. Me too. I'm just wondering, is that just because people don't realize you could do it the other way? Just think about it. I'm saying, like, visually, you could fit so much more, like the live stream, right? A nice vertical would be a lot better. Oh, you live? That's right. You did say that you live by him. Have you ever met him, Stephen? I think Dawn did already. Dawn, can you put my link up again, please? And Popeyes, too. If we don't put Popeyes up, definitely put that one up. Who else? Anybody else have a whatnot they want to put up there? Let us know, and Dawn will put it up for us. If that's okay, Dawn. Yep, she's pumped. Waste management, yeah. 32 an hour, yeah. And Popeye makes $6.50 an hour selling stupid pieces of paper. Good point, especially with all that, right? You'd rather go there and get the receipt in your hand. I definitely understand that. Thank you, Dawn. Kristen, see if you can click on that, please. I know I'm following you already. You do too, Winter Crow? To me, it just depends on the volume. If there's or the value, I should say, actually. The volume, I don't care. I'll let them pick it up. My little stupid pieces of paper, which are these ads, don't weigh a lot. And I have like the little post office baskets, those plastic baskets. We usually leave them on our front step and we have somebody come. But if I have something of exceptionally high value or really heavy that I would, obviously, that's something I would bring physically over. First show was 3 and wow. Yeah, plus you have a really good following, which is obviously huge, to bring over people. I'm not going to have that benefit, but that's not an excuse though, right? I mean, just because you have a following, you still have to perform. You have to do a good job on the show, on your auction, or people will leave. That's another thing that's obvious. People like pop in for 30 seconds and leave and pop back in and go out and pop in. That's all right. Nothing obscene. That's all. There we go. There's Popeye's whatnot. Stephen hasn't talked to Don, I guess. Okay. Yeah, everybody jump on these whatnots. We got Roll Squirrels, we got Popeyes and mine. Again, anybody else have a whatnot they'd like to promote? Let me know. And Dawn can post the link for you. It's all part of your master plan. But I mean, almost $3,000 the first show. Did you say how long you were on? I'm going to scroll up. 3.5 hours. You said, wow, yeah. You see, like right now, I've been on for 3 hours and 10 minutes already with this. So for the same amount of time, a lot more physical, a lot more moving stuff around. And again, a huge part for somebody as successful as John is keeping organized with all this stuff when it does sell. Does Whatnot give you like a ledger or something at the end of the show that shows you everybody that bought and the username or anything? I'm curious. So do you have to do all that by yourself? Let me know if anybody else watching has a whatnot that they would like to be promoted. I'd be happy to put a link in there for everybody. All I ask is please return the favor and follow me on there. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Slippet will be making her premiere, handing me various items to sell. She might not have known that, but that's officially happening tomorrow, 7 p.m. They take care of all the what? Okay, cool. Nice. And they actually provide labels and all that, I was told, right through the... That's going to be interesting. But again, you and I, luckily, like as far as weight, if I'm selling these ads, I don't have to worry about that. But my understanding was they have like these little buckets that they classify packages and weights or something. But None of my stuff. Even if I sold 50 of these ads, it probably wouldn't weigh a pound. Maybe 50 would weigh a pound. But that's good to know. Thank you. Dawn was really late. 27 cents. Yeah, I know. I'm getting there, man. I just started in January. Well, yeah, the end of January. And I'll tell you, it's funny. For those of you who don't know, on YouTube, you have these thresholds you have to meet, right, to get monetized. And everybody knows about the 1,000 subscribers. The other piece that I thought was going to be incredibly hard is the 4,000. What is it? How do they word it? 4,000 hours viewed, watch time, 4,000 hours watch time. To me, that seemed impossible if you really think about what 4,000 hours is. But obviously, the more subscribers you get, if each one of them watches 100 hours, whatever, 50 hours or 10 hours, it adds up. So I'm coming dangerously close to my watch hours already, like 3,200 or so. So I think I'm actually going to meet that before my subscribers, unfortunately. And I never would have dreamed that. I thought I would be waiting forever to get to the watch hours, but it looks like that's actually surpassing. I'm at like 630, 625 subscribers, which I love and I'm thrilled about, but got to get it over that 1,000 hump so I can make my 27 cents a day, like Popeye said. But it will be exciting. I hope it happens. I hope it happens relatively soon. And everybody here will be celebrating with me when and if that happens. We'll give away a bag of Starburst. I was watching somebody's Whatnot yesterday. It was somebody we all know too. He's a good guy. And he was giving away his, they encourage giveaways on Whatnot. You're supposed to give away something every 4 or 5 items. 629. Thank you, Don. And so he was giving away a bag of Starburst. I thought that was kind of cool. Most people give away like, maybe John would give away a postcard or a couple of postcards. And, or I might give away an ad or whatever. Oh, it was, gave away a bag of Starburst. I thought that was hysterical. Yeah, Matt. Yep. I didn't know if you guys knew him or I didn't want to. I'm not making fun of him by any stretch. I think it's original. It's really cool. Like we're all thinking about our items to give away, and he's giving away candy. I think that's kind of smart. Who doesn't like candy? I got fudge. You got 4x6 printed, and you'll get a CVS size label. Okay, cool. 3 packages with a packing slip and label. Beautiful. All right, so they really do make it pretty simple on the, like you said, all the back end stuff. That's good. Now, the one thing I think everybody knows about Whatnot, if they don't, you'll find out now, is that I don't like, but I know it's in vogue with like some other platforms like Poshmark did this, is you don't get paid until the buyer receives their item, right, John? So you do have to wait a bit. You have to have some upfront. You have to have some money saved, obviously, to ship this stuff and get it all ready and prepped before you're actually going to see any income. But I guess like anything else, once you have a steady, like John's doing 3 shows a week, so he's getting paid for 2 shows ago, but it's a constant revenue stream. Once you get past those first couple, I would imagine you're getting some nice checks from Whatnot. Look at Dawn. Speaking of Jackass Retro, yeah, I don't blame you at all for that. And haven't you also talked about on the, you do the daily what solds, I know, for eBay still. And I guess HIP to an extent for the 3 cards you sell a week, right? That HIP platform is so disappointing, I should say. But anyway, you kind of all but abandon eBay and you're still just churning from all the listings that you have up there for all this time for the stupid piece of paper. Money 2 or 3 days after they receive, so about a week after. Okay, there you go. But again, as long as you're constantly doing these shows like you are, you're just constantly getting money in after those first couple. Did you quit HIP? Yeah, and you had a Hippo postcards. You must have had thousands of listings on there too, right? I tried it. I tried HIP Stamp too. Dawn, did you try HIP? I thought we were talking about HIP Stamp one time, Dawn and I, but both of them, unfortunately, they just don't have any drawing power, that site. That good people, I know they did have the ability to port everything over from eBay and keep things in sync, which went awry after an eBay update, I guess last fall. But even outside of that, it seemed like a good platform. They made everything really easy, but they just don't have any appeal. Nobody, you haven't tried HIP. Okay. 29,000 cards. Did you get any, like, an email or anything from anybody at HIP begging you not to go? I'm just curious. That's a lot of, excuse me, a lot of listings to pull from a platform like that. You still, yeah. Cool, Steven. Yeah, I like the idea behind HIP. I think they have comics, stamps, and postcards, right? I try to get my ads over onto them, but they're even though they have the ability to pull over everything from eBay, which was conceptually very cool, they're very limited in the amount of categories they have over on HIP, and they don't tie directly with the eBay categories. So like 80% of the ads I wanted to bring over wouldn't come over automatically, and I would have had to go in one by one. I'm not going to waste the time of, you know, just individually listing on multiple platforms. That's not the idea. I wanted to just cross list. They used to be called BidStart. They had problems syncing with eBay and changed their name to HIP. Gotcha. They were going to give you a few months. Yeah, that's not going to cut it. Got to sweeten the pot a little more than that, right? That's a good question. Maybe in the postcard section, Winnacrow, they might accept photos. The HIP, was it postcard? Yeah, HIP Postcard was actually the site where I was going to bring in my ads, and they did. A handful of them did make it over, and I was able to list them, even though it was called postcards. They had an ephemera section, I believe, John. Right? It says ephemera. But I know he's a guy who had 29,000 listings, and didn't obviously sell enough to warrant a subscription. Very disappointing. I thought they were going to be a lot better than they were. The only way I can say it is they just didn't have any kind of like appeal. Like nobody's going to those sites. I think they're just not marketed well enough. Maybe they will in the future and people will go over there, but right now they're just too small time. Yeah, Del Camp, I've heard of them. Are they based in the Netherlands or something, Steven? I know it's a foreign site, but I never really found it. I thought it was like the Netherlands or something, but maybe I'm wrong. Belgium. There you go. Close enough. Europe. Same thing. Belgium. Cool. And they sell a bit of everything too, right? Or they give you the ability to sell other things than stamps. Do they have how's their fee structure, Stephen? Is it comparable to the US sites? Since we're just chatting, I'll pull down the eBay screen. I will put up this quickly in euros. Okay. Forget it. No, I won't. I was going to put something up, but I'm not going to put it up. All right, guys, it's almost 9:30. Came on at 6, so really appreciate everybody hanging in there for almost 3.5 hours. We got some listings done. We had some great conversation. If you missed the beginning of the show, the first hour was basically discussing the benefits of deleting thousands of listings and selling similar in order to generate some activity in your store if it's kind of stagnant, which was the case for my store for a bit of time after May 26th. It did seem to work, so you guys can all watch the beginning if you want to rewind if you didn't catch that first hour. Otherwise, I will see you. Today is Monday, probably Wednesday and probably Friday. We'll do some listing shows again. I will be on Whatnot tomorrow night. Please, if anybody is interested, check it out. I have a little coupon thing. If you look at the description section in this video, I think I put a link in there. If you're not a member of Whatnot, you could join and you get $10, which you could use to apply towards the purchases of anything you'd like. If you want to buy something from John or me or Kristen over at Rural Squirrel, 7 o'clock tomorrow, we will be on live auctioning off some great items. I really appreciate everybody coming in tonight. Thanks again, Steven. Great job. Thanks, John, for coming in, giving a lot of insight. I'm psyched for tomorrow. Cautiously optimistic is the term I keep using. I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. I'm not going to go in there expecting to make $3,000 right out of the gate, but I'd be happy with some sales. And as long as I can see potential in it and, work at it like a craft and get better at it, then I'll stick with it. And if not, I'll come back to what I'm doing. Can't lose, right? So have a great night. Thank you very much, Winter Crow. Great night for you too. Have a good night. Yeah, hope it goes well. Good night, Steven. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dawn. Hopefully I'll see all you guys in the room tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Thanks, John. Good night. Take care, everybody. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.